Help every young person identify and develop their unique talents and dedicate them to the Lord's service. We envision a world where never again must a young person live an aimless life. We see a time when all young people know their true purpose and lead meaningful lives in the Lord's service.
Amen.
Do you know how to find it?
I'm trying to. I know what today's date is, so I figured. I'm just trying to get it out.
Tina, you want to do our
All right. So the values. We value sacrificing. We value to, and we take up our cross by stepping out of our comfort zone for Christ. And we value faithfulness. We are faithful in that which is least so that we can be faithful also in much. And intentional. We lead purposeful and intentional lives by having a definite aim. Improvement, something better is our watchword. Leadership development. We give others the opportunities we wish we had when we were in their situation. And finish the work we start. We develop leaders who can take up the work of spreading the gospel wherever they are. We are biased for action. We are geared to set and take actionable steps towards our goals. And also communication. Communication is key and a vital part of our ministry.
Well, that's for sure.
And definitely we have learned a lot.
Deborah, are you going to do our mission for us?
We
Sure.
don't have the annual aims, Tina.
Our mission is to inspire and rightly train an army of youth to dedicate their lives to Christ's service and engage in the finishing work of redemption before the soon coming of Jesus.
Step 2, analyze prior year in review.
Actually we're supposed to go over,
Okay.
sorry, un
Step
momento,
two.
I don't know why there's no,
We can still review the last year, though.
go ahead.
Okay. A, what worked well this past year? But we do
We
need to
got
go
clarity.
Clarity? Okay.
Uh,
We're going to read last year's, what, aren't we?
yes, it's just loading.
Okay, good. So we'll need that. So we got clarity this last year. Communication changed a lot this last year. That was a big milestone.
I think the systemology course really transformed a lot of the lives of people here, where we began to understand and see systems in more places.
That was the topper offer.
That was in December.
Yeah.
I guess that was... Yeah. I did that. That was powerful.
And I'm excited that you're not mastering, but have taken on that role of the 30-day challenge to do it like all the time now. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's
me too.
gonna change a lot of things too.
Yeah.
And getting the school up,
Yes.
that was a big accomplishment this year.
Huge. I need to stick with the daylight videos.
Alright, so there you go.
And we published the account book.
Praise the Lord.
That was a turning point.
That's a major turning point. Tina, where did you put them at? They're under what number?
Above.
Above. Okay. There we go.
Dana, do you have Discord open so you can see who's here?
Nope, I don't.
Is there any way you could put it on the side?
Oh wow, there's a lot of people.
Good, let's welcome them. Enoch, you're good at welcoming people.
Oh. Welcome Sister Zelda, Sister Rebecca, and Sister Angela.
Nice job. Thank you.
I'm glad y'all get to join us. So what is another thing that worked well this past year?
Yes.
The squads. I think the squads have been
One of the best decisions of the year.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a form of cascading communication with teaching the frameworks that we're sharing. That has been super helpful.
And also it's giving more people an opportunity to serve.
Yeah, which is our purpose it's fulfilling our vision very strongly.
Now, I don't need to have my microphone on. I can have it muted or what?
You don't have to log in. You just want to be able to see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you look at my screen, you see how they are on the right. I'm not logged in. Yeah, on the left.
Okay.
So and then I have all my stuff on the right.
Okay. That's how I usually have it.
Right on.
Okay. I just didn't know we were going to use that today. So thank you.
Oh yeah, every meeting.
Very good. Okay. Well, that's now we know. For sure. Okay. It's good to see Kim here too. Did we say?
No, she's not here.
That's not Kim. That's Rebecca, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And you were talking what went well.
Yes, we're trying to look for more overview, higher level.
ones.
I would say we've definitely made a lot of progress on the live cast in regards to like the way we do it. Like in the beginning of the year, it was kind of hard.
It's like Mach 5 with your hair on fire, just constantly going.
Yep.
It's intense. Every month. But yeah, it's so much more streamlined now. We've got it down more to a science.
Praise the Lord.
Which that is something I want to improve this next year. Is I want to see how could we repurpose the live cast since we put so much effort into them in the times past. How could we use what we have and multiply that
That makes sense.
rather than creating and putting way more resources in something new? Let's like reuse what we have, and I think that could help a lot of people.
That will change a lot of things right there. And
Yeah.
also, you know what changed? What went well this year too was having Theodora and people working in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because it frees you guys up.
Yeah,
It
it
gives
really
you
does.
guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Changes your life. And Tina's not in there having to do that. Good morning, Theodora.
Good morning.
So, but anyways,
Theodora working
Yes.
in the kitchen. Yeah, I definitely know. I was definitely busy.
And you
I
were-
don't know how I did all that stuff.
I know it's hard to do it all, huh? Okay, so praise God for that because that frees up 5 hands. So that's amazing. Okay, and the Kathy doing the appointments has really changed a lot of things too. So that's a blessing.
That was huge.
That was major. So we've had a lot of accomplishments this past year. Also, I think Rebecca, she found some techniques that worked for the slides and stuff, I believe. A different way of doing the system a little bit. I believe, I could be wrong, but I think that was Rebecca that did that.
The slides?
Yeah, to kind of organizing them in different kind of files so they're easier to access, I believe, on that one system. What's that other system you guys put everything on? The machine, the content machine. Remember, she was doing something with the filing system, so it's easier to pull them up, so you don't have to read through each one of them.
I'm not sure.
Me either.
The
What
quote
you talking
cards.
about?
Quote cards.
cards.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, because I
Slides.
was like slides. I don't know what you mean by slides, but
Okay,
I know what you
quote
mean by quote cards.
Oh, okay. You should have said that. I'd be like, okay, that's not my.
I know what you meant.
But that was a good thing that needed to happen. That can make people work easier and faster. And then our onboarding system, it's up and running.
It is running.
Yes, and that's a good thing.
That's awesome because the onboarding is incredible because I can do the thing that I love, which is like recruiting, and I love helping people to make good decisions that will transform their life. It's like dedicating their talents to Christ's service, and I don't have to deal with the onboarding, which is overwhelming to me. And Leah
give you
and
time.
you have been doing so good with that. You've been enjoying interviewing and asking them and discovering their gifts and talents, and that's been really powerful.
I think yes, and Leah's doing an amazing job.
She really is.
She really is.
And Conron's doing a great job with Mom in making some of the training available on the school. We were trying to put some getting started checklists there.
I guess what you need to do is.
I need to put that plug in there, huh? Yes,
Did
I
it just drop or what?
Yeah.
It was me. It was this
Oh.
bigger.
Is that how low you want it though?
Yep, that's good.
Okay. Here, it's
I'm
not
short.
quite in there.
That's how like the rest of you guys, Tina.
You guys are almost the same height. She's short too.
Are you short too, Tina?
Not that short.
Not that short.
But honestly, if we look at it, like look how many volunteers we have now compared to like when we started out this last year. A year ago.
How many more do we have? We tripled or doubled?
Well, we essentially started.
We started all our volunteers.
Yeah, we basically started in the beginning of 2020
We had Kim and Rebecca.
because I haven't been able to really focus too much on the Army of Youth while I was pastor in the church here in the school.
So praise the Lord for that.
Yeah,
Boy,
so they're basically all new, except for Rebecca here. She's been with us for
And Kim.
3 years, and Kim.
Rebecca and Kim.
Kim, Rebecca, and
That's
Nikki.
amazing.
Those three
Nikki.
were pretty much the only ones when we transitioned from Walk Scott Ministries to Army of Youth.
We're so glad they're with us. Praise
Yeah.
the Lord. Thank you,
That's you, Mom.
Rebecca, for all that you've been doing. And Kim, you know, who's not here, and Nikki, yes. This is amazing. I like our teams that are coming together too to be able to work with everybody. This is great.
Well, also understanding to shift our focus on developing leaders and how leadership is the lid of our growth. That was an eye-opening thing that changed the trajectory of all of our lives, really.
Yeah.
And for mine, for sure. And the shifts that we made since then, I think, were in the right direction.
Yeah, we're shifting. We're still in that process of but it's really making a difference because people can take ownership now,
Yes.
and they kind of know where they're supposed to be working at instead of just trying to put it all together and
Or wait for instruction, or wait for
instructions.
approval.
So they can just kind of do their thing and get it done.
That's so true.
And it's, I'm sure this year we're going to see a lot more of everybody working in their own teams where it's really, moving faster and quicker. So it's important that we have high goals, really, really high goals, because we have a lot of people coming on. But that means a lot more,
More leadership.
more leadership and more training.
I'm looking forward to growing.
Amen.
Me too.
Isn't it fun? I love growing.
I look forward to working in my desired zone.
Oh, in your desired zone? Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always fun when you do that because you feel accomplished. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
Like
need to be
working with
stretched at the
kids.
same time.
Yeah. And developed.
And Kathy's like, I love that part. Yeah.
We should probably keep going.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go. Okay. Do you want me to bounce back up to? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's Rebecca.
The communication challenge and the leadership training was a big thing that worked well for me this year too.
Yeah, that communication challenge was sparked by the 4 levels of value. And that 4 levels of value transformed everything for me. It helped me to realize I needed to shift my attention from doing a lot of the work to communicating. And then I realized we need to develop communicators. And I was like, wait, how do we... And then I started talking to people, and they're like, I don't know how to communicate. It's like, what? You don't know how to communicate? Okay, what do we do? So put together the resources that taught me how to communicate. And then we got that communication challenge in June. And so while they're figuring out how to communicate, I'm like, how can I develop more communicators? And that's what led to the shift of, we don't need more communicators, we need more leaders. If we develop more leaders, all leaders are communicators, and so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a development in June. And yeah, that's helpful. And I'm glad that we have that still, and it's not forgotten projects, but it's a building block we are continue to build on.
We definitely have to build on it because if we drop it, it'll fall apart.
It's in the online school.
Good. But I mean, it's something that has to be in the forefront and part of a monthly growing because the new people that are coming on, if it's not in the forefront of our... Well, anyway, let's get to that later.
You're talking about having a monthly challenge?
Monthly challenge, and also there needs to be... at the beginning of certain meetings, it needs to be addressed. Communication skills, the things that we have learned, so the newcomers can keep on getting a refresh. Because if not, all that work will diminish. I've seen that happen. So
Sherry's going through the communication challenge since she joined the school too.
praise the Lord, and she is communicating.
Yeah,
That's
she's
a
doing
good part.
well.
So let's go ahead and finish up the 2A annual aims because we did not do that. Conrad usually does that for us, but
Well,
or do you want to do that part or not?
we're gonna go over them at letter C.
Letter? Okay.
I think this is 2C.
Okay, 2C. Okay, so let's go ahead and then what needs improvement? I mean, how do we address that right now?
I think this is higher level, like in far as the whole year. Like for example, she has on there to repurpose the live cast
Okay.
in like courses and content. That's something that would be a higher level improvement for this next year. 12-month type projects.
Okay, because I know it's going to be, as we get into stuff, we're going to have a lot more stuff we're going to have to really add to it and then kind of break it down too.
Yeah.
Because we really have to discuss really where we're going for this year to really say what needs improvement too, in my opinion. But
We do. I agree.
because that's going to be the backbone to how we're going to reach.
Well
those
then,
goals.
maybe we should just skip to letter C.
Okay. What annual aims were not achieved? Yeah, let's look at that. Well, we didn't have our event. That was one thing that didn't get done.
Yeah. Well, in light of this annual aim, for number 1, Enoch will complete the Direction of God Value Ladder by the end of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at my notes and I saw in my account book, in November 2019, I was trying to put together the Direction of God program, but then it dawned on me. That's when I had the epiphany that what we have in the account book could be the content for the Direction of God program. And that's when we were able to have it launched within 2 weeks of that realization.
That's right.
That was one of the biggest challenges.
Right.
I was thinking what to say, what the
Mhm.
curriculum, what that outline. But when I realized that the account book could be the
Right.
that is direction from God, I was like, whoa. And then we launched in December. So we got the
We
drips.
reached those goals. We got
Ye-
both of them done in one shot.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's what- I was seeing that happening. I was thinking this is pretty neat because he's actually fulfilling that one thing that he wanted to do. But
And
he's
it's
doing it 2 ways.
intentionality.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I saw there's a lot of intentionality this year.
Yeah. So that's really good.
So we have on here the drip system for the free content under 2A. Wait, is that 2A? That's not 2A. That's like 1. This is still number 1. But let me erase that.
Yeah, it was like step 2 on the other thing, so that's why.
Makes sense. So we have like the free content with Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Shanisa is joining us. Praise the Lord! Glad you're here with us. And although we published the account book, we didn't publish the Direction from God book. That was something that did not get done. And like, although we published a book in the 3rd quarter like we wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
like if we're honest with ourselves, it wasn't the book we were looking for. But at the same time, God pivots. Like we lay our plans at the feet of the cross, and to be given up or carried out as providence shall indicate. And His providence showed us that the account book's the one to publish there. So
I
that's
think
good.
it was even more needful than the other, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because it's going to change a lot of people's lives. That account
Well-
book is. The other's good information. I mean, there's lots of information in the world, but that's actually a step by step, which is an awesome thing, I think.
Yeah, and the course we published a course in April, the 2nd quarter, like we wanted to, but that course needs some serious improvement.
So that's something we can work on this year.
Yeah,
That right. So
We-
that's what we can put on there.
we need to work on.
What needs improvement?
courses.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
Why?
Because I like doing that. Like, I never would have thought that I would have said that because, I guess, compared to the beginning of the year,
No, we finished that. We need to improve it.
What needs improvement? Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah, you're doing good.
compared to the beginning of the year, I didn't really know. I guess I know a lot more of the vision of the Army of Youth and know the direction of what we're doing and things like that.
Any messages?
So yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to the courses and that kind of stuff now.
That's
Good,
good.
good.
Me too.
I love that.
They're really helpful.
Nice job. And so it's something we can talk about when needs improvement and how we're going to do that. Okay, and then
So if we look at it, it looks like we have one, we'll say two with the book, and then, what's the course? 3, 4. We did 4 out of the 5 of the direction from God value ladder
right.
in 1 year.
That's pretty good.
That's actually really good.
That's really good when you can meet that range of yes.
When I first learned about the value ladder a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
that seemed so daunting and it seemed so far away, and it was just I don't even know how that. It seems like there's so I've never done a program, never done a course, never created a book, and to do them all, it's just I'm okay, but the first year, just taking that big value ladder goal, breaking it down into these planning scopes, 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, and then breaking it down, and then looking back 12 months later to see I remember this month last year setting this goal and thinking this is probably one of the biggest goals I've set in something like that, and done consistently. I've never made a commitment like that for that long, in this kind of way, and it was just looking back now, it's so incredible to see what God has done.
Well, you're talking about that, but something that we haven't mentioned that I saw that was really unique is you have gotten a lot off your plate for once.
Yeah.
You're not doing. I remember I was sitting there
It's
watching you
incredible.
the other day, standing there. It's okay, well, and who's going to take up that thing? You're I'm not, and you're and I'm oh, delegating. He's delegating. This year you've had to really delegate and really walk away.
Yeah.
That is people don't understand how hard that is.
It
When
is
you
really hard.
have the skill to do something, to just step back and just that.
Especially when you enjoy it.
Yes! And I saw you quite a few times just put your hands down and it was okay. And I was whoa, that is hard to do. But that is one of my goals that I wanted when I came to the Army of Youth was to be able to run a company without ever walking into the room from so far away. And when you can do that, like my uncle told me, he was in charge of the water and power for Southern California, and he said that was when he got his position. They said, "Don't ever leave your office." And he's like, "How am I going to know if people are even showing up for work?" And that's a problem you have when you own a company. You don't know if people are coming to work.
I have a goal in life. I want to be able to try and figure out how to do that with like at least like 10 different organizations.
Well, yeah, how can you do just one?
I know, how can you do one?
That doesn't make sense. You can
It's
do
like-
at least 10 on the board.
To be able to run it with like 10 different organizations, and that just, some people have done it with like 50 companies
Oh, yeah.
and $5 billion in
Yeah.
sales, but it's like, how do you do something
My
like
neighbor
that?
had 100 companies.
That's like mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah. But isn't that neat? Wouldn't you like to be there? Where
Yeah. To the impact and the reach that you can have in this world of ripple effects, it's,
I want to say this one thing to encourage people whenever you're making a goal. When I had my one restaurant, I mean, not my restaurant, but my other business, control company, I remember I was like trying to manage these people out in the field, and I was so frustrated because I was being ripped off. And when you're getting ripped off by an employee that doesn't show up for $45 an hour, you're really upset. That's a lot of money going out the door, and you don't even know if they're at work. And so I remember I was really upset about this, and this one guy gave me the best advice one time, and he said, "Diana, don't you love business?" He goes, "You're in business, right? You're on your own business." I said, "Yes." He said, "But don't you love it?" And I'm like, I had to stop by, and I had to stop murmuring for a second to sit, and I thought, yeah, I like business. It's okay. This is part of it. This is part of the journey. So it's okay that you're being stretched and pulled and pushed. You are developing skills that you're going to be so thankful you have them down the road. They're they're fun.
They are fun.
It's exciting. I just had to share that because that was one of the things I thought was exciting.
Thank you.
What needs improvement?
No. Which ones the annual aims that didn't get done? So we're looking at annual aims. So we did number 1. Now we're on number 2.
Okay.
Do you see number 2 on there?
I see the annual aims were not achieved, and she put 1 and 2, and then we're going to off of the top.
A little bit.
And so what we have, the leaves of autumn, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So the leaves of autumn, we wanted to sow 100 pieces of free content a day by the end of 2020 on all of our social media platforms combined. That did not happen. We are probably at around 10 to 12 a day, so we got 1/10 of that. What do you guys think led to not being able to accomplish that one?
Oh, it's easy.
What?
It wasn't really, as much as it's on there every time, we didn't actually break it down to figure out how we're going to achieve that goal. Without having a plan, it's just information. So the fact that we got anything was a blessing. That was just over and beyond, because we shouldn't have got anything because we didn't actually schedule for it. So
we didn't schedule too much.
So if we did do that, if we put that on there as a focal point that we're actually working on it and how we're going to do it and plan it, it will get done. What doesn't get planned doesn't get done.
Yeah, and I'll say too that last year I think I spent a lot more time creating the content and producing it, and not as much distributing or repurposing it.
And that's okay, because as we're getting new volunteers, they're going to be the ones helping post all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or put it out there. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, you're saying it right.
But you have to have content.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but that's how we're going to do it without the content. So we do have a lot of content, and we have people now. I think Jason. Justin is going to be breaking them down into 7 minutes to 4 to 7 minutes. That's going to change a lot of things.
It's huge.
That's going to get our content out there really well.
Yeah.
And people will watch it because, like the people I've been talking to, 7 minutes that's good enough for them. Anything over that is like, I don't have time. Because people are even, the busier they get, the smaller the window becomes.
Because this is the distraction economy. Everybody's fighting for your attention. Attention is currency in this economy right now.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that led to not reaching that was focus. I was going through the annual review, and I noticed, like in the middle of the year, we had this major epiphany to focus on one pillar content, being the live cast. And from that live cast, let's break it down, where like what you do, the live cast overview, where it just breaks it into smaller sections. That has allowed us to more so create content more systematically, where before it was kind of like, okay, let's use the sermons, the prayer meetings, let's use podcasts, let's use daily life videos and live casts, whatever we can, and let's just try to do it. But there's also some slight nuances with each one that we choose. And so by choosing one pillar content being the live cast, long form, and then breaking that down and getting a system, and I'm learning more about focus on one thing until it's done, then move on to the next. And what we did is we did quotables, quote cards, and Rebecca did so good with that, and Tina and everyone. And so the quote cards were almost the only thing consistently we could do. And then kind of like for a brief moment while Daniel was here, we kind of did some meme videos, the short 4 to 7 minute ones. And he didn't do it long enough to figure out the system for it. And then he left, and there's no one to replace him. And then there was not really a system for microblogging. And there's just a lot of these things where we were trying to do them all at once, which I think this next year, in order for us to do it, we should choose not only were we trying to do too many pieces of content, we were trying to do too many platforms. So when we got a new volunteer, we're like, oh, you can help with, like Kim was on YouTube, and she's like, I need some help with YouTube. Then we get a new volunteer, it's like, oh, you want to help? You can help with Instagram with Chatal. And then Chatal's like, okay, she's doing her thing. But then there's a new volunteer, oh, you want to help? Leah, you can help with Facebook. But instead of doing that, it would probably be better in hindsight if we were like, all right, Kim's doing YouTube. Leah, you can help with YouTube. Chatal, you can help with YouTube. So we're like funneling more people to one platform, and then we can master that, and then move on, and then master the content creation for that
The concepts,
platform.
all the different
The
procedures,
system,
the steps.
exactly. The systems, the steps, the procedures.
So it can be duplicated for all of the platforms.
Yes,
Is that what you're saying? Or not?
so that they can be duplicated, and really the system, like, people will come and go, but if we have the system, anyone from any experience could pick up the system and learn and do it. Whereas like Tina, if she knows how to take quotables from the live cast, and she's the only one who knows how to do it, there's no system.
Right.
When she gets too busy and she starts doing something else, there's no one to replace her without a system. So as long as there's a system, then we can have new people coming in, and we just plug them into that. And they have the support when someone has a question. There's like 3-4 people on the team, and they're veteran volunteers, so that they can help answer questions. Where if everybody is on different platforms, they're all going to me.
Would it work if, like you said, if we take one and we make our focal point for
Instagram.
1 month, and
Uh,
then the next month choose a different platform and master that one for that month with all hands on deck?
well,
Because that would give us 6 platforms in 6 months.
there's really
Massive,
only
no?
like a handful of platforms. There's podcasts, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Pretty
And
much. Those
TikTok,
are
right?
well,
That's getting big now.
yeah, it is getting big,
That's
and that's
right.
where our target audience
So that's
is.
5.
Yeah, that is 5.
So that would be 5 months or 6 months, because you have to give a little bit of leeway between one that's struggling.
Well, a lot of people are saying to choose one and stick with that, and
okay.
then grow that to a significant audience, and then move on. Where it's like, I realize the more that we spread our attention in different places, it's going to be.
Well, you said that the first one you're going to be mastering the procedure, the framework, which should be able to somewhat be used the same way for every other platform.
Yeah,
Is that
in
correct?
some ways they should be able
Okay.
to. I've never done it fully, so but I imagine probably. But there are some nuances. Like Instagram does so much better with 4 to 7.
The reason I say that is because we have people that are going to be moving into leadership positions in those areas, like of those departments, and because they already enjoy doing it,
Yeah,
they will be more apt to carry that baby.
yeah.
And if we lose them because they get stuck in an area that's not their favorite, they're more apt to.
It's true, but that's an area that I think that we failed this year too, is that we were so desirous of trying to help people to find something that was in their talent before we had the systems to support them, and they didn't necessarily have the skill set to like make it happen and start it. Like pioneering it is different than assisting in where it is. And I think that we spread our like human resources, the people out too thin, in pioneering too many things, where if we focus majority of our attention on like, let's say Instagram and Instagram's content, and that was like 80% of our effort, 20% is kind of like in testing out some new stuff, then we would grow and support and build something that lasts.
I agree with that.
And I'm thinking maybe your concept was interesting. Maybe a quarter on Instagram.
That would be even better.
Yeah.
If you do a quarter, 3 months, you should be able, because we mastered setting up the live cast stuff within probably about 2 months. I mean, it was really coming together
2 to
towards the
3.
end of the month, and the third month that we were kind of really using the system. It was working. It was up and running. I mean, yeah, it still needs improvement, but all of our systems will need improving. But that's always ongoing. But we have the framework, and it's a workable framework. It actually is. We can delegate and people can work.
Yeah, in probably 3 months we could probably find out new people to test out the new systems.
That would be good. Okay.
Did you write down a focus on Instagram?
From
Oh yes, go ahead, sister.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
is it like from what I'm hearing from y'all, is it like you need to focus on teams, or is it just like platforms? Because
Carmen,
many
can
of
you
the
turn
teams
her up?
spread out to different platforms, but we also have platform teams. If you understand what I mean.
I didn't hear everything you said because you were going in and out and our volume was really low. But what we're talking about is focusing on like one platform team, such as Instagram. Like new recruits go to Instagram to help. Some might do hashtags, some might do quote cards, some might do whatever, microblogs, but just really funnel majority of our focus on Instagram, its content, and its management.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Did that answer your question?
Yes,
She's
I think
I love her.
so.
Okay, that's good.
And we're talking about maybe focusing like for a quarter on one, maybe, but maybe throughout the whole year. We'll I guess we can cross that road. When we
I
get
think
there.
in a quarter we can analyze and revise and see if we should move on to the next quarter
I agree.
or if it'd be too early.
Right, I agree.
I think that would be solid. I'm excited.
I know. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
It's probably,
And also, I was thinking about maybe the entire year next year will be like developing the teams, because they're like most of the teams that need developing, like this slides and Instagram, all those are in the graphic area. So
yeah,
I don't know what you'll think about that.
they are in the graphic area. I know Tina is writing down your suggestion. I completely agree. I think we need to be developing teams. So we could put it down as for the visualize what could be for next year. And that would be all ideas are great until we prioritize them.
Okay.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you.
So yeah, so for that annual aim, we didn't accomplish it. And I think sometimes Kim wasn't the most supported in her journey for that too, and she had a lot going on at home.
Yeah.
So it's hard to. I'm shocked she got so much done with everything happening. So what about the third annual aim? This is Kamran.
Oh, it's our brother Kamran.
Kamran, were you able to finish the annual aim?
With the system.
Fully systemizing.
Yes, systemology. If you want to scroll up a little bit.
Scroll up.
Essential contact.
Yeah, right there.
Roadmap. 20% of the systems that will.
You want to read it?
All right, let him do it. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, he's looking at it. That was fast. Oh, it's linked.
Yeah, it's a link.
Wow, that's cool. You got the central contact roadmap. Look at that, come on.
We got attention, irresistible devotions. And that. This one.
Yeah.
We have a we have
Yeah, we have several. Yeah, we got sales video.
and other sales pages. The order page, onboarding, members access. Yeah.
Cool. So we got 20% of the systems?
I think we got more than 20%.
We got more like 80%?
Maybe like 60 or 70.
60 or 70? All right. Congratulations. Praise the Lord.
We not only got the central contact roadmap systemized for the course, but also for The book and the live cast.
Wow.
The program.
Not the events, but yeah, the program. So we pretty much did it. We got that annual aim. We praise the Lord.
Good job, Colin.
And all of them, I think a major thing that we should consider for next year is to improve our ugly funnels. Because we are launching quickly and launching ugly, right, Kamran?
Yeah.
Now we should probably optimize some of those funnels now that we had some traffic and numbers to look at what worked and what
That's
didn't.
wonderful. Yeah.
I think that's been heavy on my mind because I see that there's areas to
Yeah.
optimize all
It's just
over.
like the courses, improve the courses.
Yeah, along those lines.
I think that SEO would help a lot, and so would
Sorry.
Okay,
Everybody.
it's your laptop, not mine.
Pixels.
Yeah, I think pixels would help. You're right.
I don't even know what
And
pixel is.
SEO.
A little dot on the computer as far as I know.
Yeah.
Did you not say
pixels
SEO
are
because
connected.
you don't think that'll help?
No, that's not why I said that.
No, why you didn't?
I don't know much about SEO.
Looking up.
The
You need a better chair.
and you know what's cool though? We have Fletcher writing Bible readings, so we can finally
Who's
do
writing Bible
SEO.
readings?
No, what I
Yes.
mean is he's publishing them.
What SEO does for us is the only way people could find us.
I know what SEO does.
Well, let me tell her then. The only
Can
way.
I tell her?
Yes. Go ahead.
SEO stands for search engine optimization. Google is a search engine, so when people type in keywords, SEO will optimize so our page results will show at the very top of Google and YouTube when people search for us. Our
First one
Public-
up there.
yeah, our content shows
And
up
how do we
first.
get that there? I mean, is
There's
that what she's saying we need to?
SEO specialists who know how to do that stuff.
But it's more than that, because if you get SEO on there, it looks at all the stuff that you have on your website,
Uh-huh.
and then it says, okay, this person's showing this stuff on this website. That's where I'm going to send the people who come, regardless if they're looking for direction from God.
Oh, so it focuses them to a direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
depending on the information that
It's a
you
funnel.
have. Huh?
It's like a funnel.
Well,
Kind of like a funnel. I mean, the way
Funnel's
they have
similar.
set theirs up. The SEO, that's the way they've set it up. So it's
The
like
principle
a
of funneling
principle
people's attention,
goes
yes,
to a
for
different
the
person.
results.
yeah.
But a funnel's a website, and it's not a website. It's funneling people to a website.
It's
But
a
I see what you're
crawler
saying.
is what it is.
It's the system.
It crawls through all these different websites, like ours and Amazing Facts and the pastors and just everybody's. It crawls through it. They say, okay, they're looking for
I think-
self-development.
I
for
think we need to
Christians.
keep going though.
Okay.
We got some stuff to do.
So what do you think about SEO?
I'm saying every suggestion's a good suggestion until we prioritize things.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing too. Especially now that we're getting more content. I think we need a lot more content. Now we have a lot of content, especially if we can get them broken down, because
Yeah, the micro content's huge. So as far as the annual aims, we got like 2 out of 3 of them.
that's good.
That is actually really good.
That's good, because if you don't have these aims, you won't reach anything. So
That's
that's
so
good.
true.
And it's always better to have a larger, to shoot higher than what you're expecting. You should, because if it's like anything, you invite somebody to your house, you over invite because there's a law of numbers that actually exists, and that only a percentage will come, and that's a proven fact. So it is
Yeah.
the law of numbers is what they would use. And so that's the same thing with shooting it towards a target. If you'll shoot it so far above what you think is crazy, you will hit somewhere
Yeah.
close to your target.
Aim for the stars and hit the moon.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good way to put it right there.
I call them stretch goals. Just
Yes.
set a goal that will stretch you, and chances are you'll actually reach higher than if you did something that you think you'll achieve. You might achieve that, but if you do something that seems like that scares you or puts a little fear and like uncomfort, comfortable goal, then you might land you hit lower, but it's higher than what you would have originally set.
Man, the only goals that I would have to set that would stretch me and make me feel uncomfortable is anything to do with navigation.
You're so
Anything
funny.
else, I'm like, bring it on, buddy, come on. But
Yeah,
that,
we serve a big God.
yes, that's the one where I'm like, I hold my face. Okay, so let's move on here. Okay, so so those were completed. So I think we should move past that one because that was completed. So C, I think we should move past C.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
so,
And we should skip D because those are
Yeah.
not things we need to talk about now.
no, it's not.
But
Okay.
as far as the step 3 for defining things,
Mm-hmm.
we basically want to visualize what we could do and see
That's what I
some
think.
possibilities, and then prioritize those possibilities,
I agree.
and then organize them into.
Well, then let's start
course.
with Enoch, since you were faithful and you went through all of the reading for the last week. What are you seeing that you'll have a bigger picture of where we came from and where we need to go next? I mean, we need a big picture of where the vision of the ministry is going. Where's the next step, kind of?
So is it okay if I do that?
Put them down? Yeah, I think that's fine. I have a list of possibilities, but
Good, we need to hear them, and then we can all throw out there because it'll trigger our brains.
okay. What if I have 24?
That's okay.
Yeehaw!
That's
Alright.
good. It gives us something to work with, and we can all go, whoa, and then we can all go,
Alright, then
yeah.
let's read through it.
Yeah, let's do.
We can prioritize that after. So number 1, I was thinking
Where is it?
It's right below what you put. Oh, it needs an update. I think it'll show up. It's saving. It'll show up when it's done saving.
And it will be under step 3, is that correct?
Yeah, it's under step 3. It's under your check boxes.
Okay, under her checkboxes where it'll show up.
Yeah,
Awesome.
mine is syncing and it's.
Rebecca
Okay.
and it looks like Leah, I think, is here with us too. And,
How do you get us
No,
up
Susie, Rebecca, Shanicia, and Angela.
Oh.
how come I'm not seeing their names? How come it's
You probably need to scroll. Thank you.
How do you get it to
Can you
update?
scroll a little
Uh, It will update automatically.
bit?
Just mine is
open that?
taking a while.
Here it goes.
You got it?
There you
there?
Cool.
go.
All right. So number 1,
Oh, thank
what I was
you.
looking at is.
Yeah, Susie, okay.
This year we could do a virtual summit with, it's like a digital camp meeting with multiple speakers that have large audiences with our target audience that
The theme.
we can go and interview a lot of them. It's like Dream 100 interviews, but instead of doing it spread out, we just batch it over one period of time and just batch interview a whole bunch of people for and they bring all their audiences. That is one. And Russell says that that's like the number one way to like generate leads right now. As far as like, yeah, lead generation, contacts, finding new people, come in contact with our audience. I'm like, wow, that sounds very enticing.
And so the end in mind, so if you have all the people and you get all the contacts, what will you offer them and what is your goal? To send them to the school, to buy the account book? What is the final?
It would be either, well, there's a thing called follow-up funnels that allows you to, when you have their lead, you can send them follow-up email sequences that offers them one thing, they say yay or nay, or like, you offer them the squads, like come join our squads, this is a life transformation you can have, and then they're like, okay, then they're there, and so they're a part of our community, or they say no, and then you're like, okay, so then when that sequence is over, then it automatically sends like the account book sequence where live your calling, understand your unique gifts and your talents, and here, you can have this book if you want, or here's a course on living your calling or whatever. And they could say, yes, I want that too, and the squads, and this is perfect timing. Or they could say no, and you're like, okay, well then we'll share devotional tips, how to study the Bible, and they'll find like they're learning how to study the Bible, this is life transforming, this is helpful, and you're like, hey, if you want to join a program, you can join that. And they're like, oh, I like that, or they could say no.
Okay.
And then when you go through, like let's say there's 3 sequences, when they go through that and they said no, then they're automatically added to like our newsletter. So then they just get our everyday newsletter.
Well, the reason I ask that is because when you have that, the end in mind, I've already seen one thing that would have to be addressed before you could even have that with the squads. So I was just kind of seeing in my head the steps that they were looking at. If we have the product, if we have the resources to have the summit, not to do the
Yeah.
summit itself, but
Right. What to the
what
follow
we're-
up and
yeah,
what to
we're
do
gonna
with
give
them.
them and once
Yeah.
they're here, you know, we want to do something with them.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can move on to challenge, I guess.
And the online challenge is very similar, but it's
Love
often
that.
used with like a Facebook group
Mm-hmm.
where it's for like a week, or there's 7-day challenge, 14-day challenge.
Love it.
It's basically an online event it's like what we did with the Rise Up Challenge.
I like it.
And we could have multiple speakers, or we could go through our frameworks that we teach in the Lifecast and just do it every day for 7 days. Kind of like what we did with, what was it called? What was that thing called? The Corona,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
How to
360.
Study the Bible that we
Oh,
did.
okay.
Oh,
Like that event, which actually became our course. We recorded those. So that's a challenge. Challenges are huge right now.
I love them.
Yeah, those are
I'm so in
powerful.
with them.
And then another thing is just daily life videos. I know this last year we spent a lot of time doing daily life videos, but I think one of my biggest challenges was I was told that we should share the what and the why and monetize the how, and then that always like confused me. I was like, I don't.
That even that confused me too.
Yeah, because it didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. What are you saying?
Plug in for the computer.
There's a plug-in over there. You should.
Does that wind up turning it into training the other
Where-
people how to do the daily life videos? Is that what happens?
No, I'm talking about for,
Yeah.
right here.
Go ahead, Mom.
I can go and get the one upstairs, Deborah.
The daily life videos. That's
okay.
being
Well, it's
consistent
gonna
doing it every
die.
day.
You
But
could switch
the
it out.
thing that she
Okay.
said that she was getting confused
Good.
on when you told her about it, Tina just said, she goes, yeah, that was
All right.
The what and the why.
Yeah.
Oh, the what and the why. So what was going on with that is they're saying share what and the why.
Not the how.
Yeah, but not the how. It's like why you should focus and why you should study one thing, but not necessarily like how to study or like why you need to know your calling and what knowing your calling is and what life could be like if you knew your calling. But then they're like, how do I do it? And then it's like join the program to find out how. Which that always made me feel uncomfortable, and then it like made me wonder. It's like, well, what should I share? What shouldn't I share? But then I watched this video where the guy's like, look, I have an endless amount of content. There is no limit to what I can share. And he's like, people say you share what and why. I do everything. I teach the same frameworks in 5-minute, 10-minute segments on Instagram as I do in my $2,000 course. I share the same frameworks on my podcast for free as I do with my $18,000 program.
I agree.
And then I was like, that's awesome, because that just opens the floodgates
Yeah.
of daylight videos that we could do.
Yeah.
And
Because what the people that are on the outside wanting this product is some will take it and run with it because
Yeah.
they know how to use it, but the average person is not geared towards being an entrepreneur thinking.
Mhm.
And that's that third level. That's when they come to the Army of Youth Ministry to get the training because they don't know how to do that.
Mhm.
And there's going to be areas that they don't know how to do anyway. Look at us. We're still learning, so, it's easier
Sure.
to learn in a group than it is by yourself.
It's true. It is easier to learn in group. And from watching that video, it was like a week or two after that, I started doing daylight videos and haven't stopped since. And it hasn't been that difficult.
Yeah, and also one big thing is like when we did the videos before, like everyone was involved,
Yeah.
and it was just like
Oh, it's production.
very taxing.
Time consuming for everybody.
It was time consuming for everyone, and we like didn't
So
feel
now he can
very
just do one?
accomplished.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we would do differently is not have a local live video squad, but like live video team, but have a virtual live video team. And if we did the same thing, but with people virtually, like, hey, you can share here, here, and here, and make sure that they get spread out, then that would help. Everything
Yeah.
that people were doing here is just too much because people here got a lot on their plate.
Oh, gotcha.
But if we had those responsibilities and pushed them out,
Yeah. That would make sense.
I think that would help coming this year.
Oh, that would be
Because
really good.
this year I see we need to focus on distribution. We need to
Yeah.
focus on
I agree.
broadcasting the content to places.
Okay, so that was kind of what we just kind of discussed number 3, though, right?
Yeah, that was number 3. So 4 is interviewing Dream 100. That goes without saying. We have
Yes.
quite a bit of that. Publish a Direction from God book.
Is it a high priority?
Yes, because free. That's a free book we can give to people. And when they get that free book, that's one of the best ways to sell a course. Is
Sell a course.
through a book. Is give away a book for free, and from there, if they like the book, and all they got to it's free plus shipping. So they pay $5, $7 for shipping, and if they make a micro commitment for $5, it's so much easier for them to make a larger commitment for a digital product or digital course, audiobook or whatever, and those are ways to really help people.
Number 6.
And then drastically update the volunteer form. I see we could be a lot more intentional with that. We learned a lot since creating that, like in 2014, and then again in 2019. And I see a lot of the problems we have with onboarding could be addressed if we like fix the system or the leaks in the form. And then for a year, one thing that I'm thinking would be a very good annual aim is to implement the entire Trilogy Secret books. If we just take that as like we did with the systemology course, we probably don't need systemology as our annual aim, but if that became one, then the whole year we could just break down those 3 books into year like quarters and stuff, and then we could improve the. Tina, are you able to move these things that fall under the higher level of improving our funnels, our ugly funnels, and move them under that? Because number 8 is improving our perfect webinar for direction from God.
So that would be like under there.
Yeah, that would
Like
be
that.
under there. Oh, there you go. Cool. Yeah. And then,
Yeah, because I was like thinking of it. Some of them, they could probably like fall into the same category.
yeah,
Which
and that's
would
what
be
we want to do
easier.
right now,
Thank you,
is
Tina.
put them in the categories.
Good, 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 good.
Also, implementing Michael Hyatt's system for cascading communication. He probably has some solid frameworks. That's as far as like maybe a ministry-wide initiative that we can do is just put that into practice as systems, which I don't know what they are quite yet, but I'll skip 9. But 10 is Experts Academy course. That's by Brendan.
You skip 9, is that because it's not important?
Well, that one's not really an annual aim. I actually took.
So you want me to put it at the bottom?
Sure, you can do that. Repurpose the LifeCast into other info product suites. That would be under improve our ugly funnels probably. But we can turn our LifeCast into courses. And Mom was talking about the Pixel that's running ads for videos. Like Facebook doesn't share our videos with people unless you pay them. And when you pay Facebook to do that, it's kind of like buying a box of books. People buy books. People buy stuff to give away all the time in tracks. So it's far more reach for your dollar, and it's calculated more so putting that money instead of in the books. You can put it in the Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and it'll reach people. And our squads would grow, and our and the account books would be with more people.
It would grow right quick.
It would. And another thing that I realized for this, should we take turns sharing so it's not like the same voice talking?
No, I think it's actually helping us to give clarity because we can comment on it, you know?
Okay.
I think we need to go through this because you've already done the homework you've been seeing as you were going through all the work this last week.
Yeah.
So, and then all of us are commenting on different things that we're seeing that's putting stuff together.
Can you put a category, Tina, for all the courses or the new learnings to the frameworks?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too, because I was like,
Could, if you have these thoughts, can you like verbalize them? That would be helpful.
sure.
Your input and ideas is really helpful. Another thing that I see is income producing activities is probably something that we did not do enough last year. And I realized we were focusing so much on the art of teaching and creating, and not so much of the marketing of that art, because there's no point in having a message if we can't get it out to the masses and get it out to the people. So Conrad and I put together this income producing activity database where I made a list of there's like 11 ways that the ministry could like currently has functional where income could be generated, and we could be intentional about, like in the daily life videos, to just direct people to income producing things that will add value to their life and give them an opportunity to come higher in our value ladder to help us serve them better. And then there are other things that are not done, not created, but are possibilities as far as the vision, long-term vision of the Army of Youth, things that we'd like to integrate, but that would need to be prioritized.
Is that like, but that's not like a month or like a yearly aim, right?
Yes,
It is
because
because it's the financial state of the ministry.
Oh, okay. I guess.
absolutely, because if we can't make the money, we can't
Can't
sustain
give
the
the
message.
Yeah, but like, create the IPA database is only one part of it.
Well, I know it says that, but it's less about the creating the database as it is about prioritizing what is in the database, and that's the annual aim part.
Okay.
Does that make sense? No. So what I'm saying is, like the value ladder, this is what we did last year. Last year, we saw what are all the different modalities can we communicate the direction of God frameworks, and out of all the possibilities, I prioritize them into a book, a program, a monthly program, a course, and an event. Those were the 4 income-producing activities that I chose. So we basically have to do that. Now we have those, we can optimize them, but which new methods are we able to teach our frameworks in? That will give people other options, depending on those who want to go higher with us and to get more access. Because, just have more variety that how we can help people.
Okay.
And then the squad ministry, growing that might be something to have as an annual aim somehow.
To build the squad, is that what you said? I agree, because that was what was it really heavy in my head, and you said it too twice. So
And
that's
also,
really huge.
like finding a leader over like 5 and a leader over like things like that.
Mhm.
That's
And
cascading
being more-
communication.
Being more intentional with how we are developing the leaders.
Yeah, I agree. Because that'll make a difference, especially because you can't really do the summit or the funnels if we, because that's one of the things we want to offer is for them to come to join the squads. And if we only have so many leaders, where are you going to put everybody?
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that your leaders are ready to lead and
Yeah.
that they've already creating leaders,
Yeah.
and you have to have a system already up and running
Yeah.
really well.
We have to balance the growth of new people coming in with the personal leadership growth of the individuals and the structure of people who can help
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of our leaders, I think, when do they say when it's at the five generations? Is that when you can really branch out heavily?
The 4 generations?
Is it 4 generations?
Yeah,
I was
4.
thinking it's more like 5, but 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can see why. Because then you can take on a larger base because your base is not big enough. When you're still at the 1 and 2, it's not big enough.
Yeah, that's why I think that as we grow, the squads could be my long-term vision for the squads is it could be a huge resource for a lot of these media ministries who with their videos are reaching millions, but they don't have any way to scale the follow-up of their contacts that they're generating interest for. So we could partner with Dream 100s on their, with YouTube channels of 300,000 or more, and then they can funnel their contacts to our squads, and we can do follow-up Bible studies to help them, and then and that's something that they couldn't do by
I
themselves.
agree with that. Yeah, if we develop ours well, if that's
Yes.
our focal that we can bring to the table.
But that could provide some massive growth very quickly, so we need to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
It's like Pentecostal growth with 3,000 baptized in a day.
Yeah, and it
type
can happen.
thing.
No, it really can. And
I
when
know.
you do it, you have to make sure that it's set up. The base can be held.
Yeah.
So we need to look at Jesus's his
model.
example, his model,
Yeah.
and figure out exactly what he did. Because at one point they were just moving from city to city, and there was lots of people, and they were just having to move along.
That's right.
But he would leave disciples because he had 70.
Yeah.
He had to went somewhere and did something. You know. Okay.
And then 11 is avatar interview and feedback. That's
Isn't that like interviewing Dream 100?
no, this is interviewing our avatar.
I can put that in the same place though, right? Like that.
This would be this isn't updating our funnel, but this is creating one mother funnel, or funnels that basically it's all about feedback, getting feedback from our pioneers, our early adopters, or potential students to see what do they want, what are their needs, what are their testimonials, so that we have so we can improve our capturing system of testimonies. Because when it comes to what we do, what we say we do isn't going to have as much influence as the results that we got for our students. Those testimonies are, one, what inspire all of us to do what we're doing, and two, testimonials inspire new students to say, I want that. I see myself in that student. If Susie can find direction, I believe I can too. It's like one thing if Enoch can do it, he's Enoch, but what about when Tina and Susie, Rebecca and Shanicia and Angela and Kamran and all these people are having the same experience? I need that experience. So this is basically like finding out, or putting attention and focus on a systematic way of like using funnels to gather more testimonials.
Before we move to the next one, I need everybody to stand up. We need to
Yes,
stretch.
thank you. And breathe deep.
Thank you.
And
1 hour break.
if you're online, you can stand up where you're at too, stretch a little bit, and take some deep breaths.
Can I go get a water bottle?
Sure. The lower 1/3 of your lungs provides 2/3 of the oxygen throughout your body. So fill the lower lungs and you'll get more oxygen. Help your brain work. Take a brain break. And hydrate. Water.
3 minutes.
Hydration
We got
cures
3
all.
minutes.
Hey, Mama. I'm glad you're here. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Good to see you.
Let me see the time.
No?
It's 2:04. Okay. Is it long? 2:07.
I wasn't even there. I was right here. I was on your wall. Yeah, I saw it.
Get these hairs that grow. Don't get old.
Isn't it fun getting old?
My grandma, she used to sit there and pluck these hairs out of herself. I was looking at her like, that's gross. And then here I am over there. Enoch, can you get that for me? I can't see it. I can feel it.
You're funny, Mom. I'm glad.
Before David left, I had him to do. I was like, David, there's no hair. I can't see it. So like, it didn't bother him. He's like, here. I was like, oh, thank you.
Enoch's all like helping me out, and then he gets one out of my
Yes,
lip
Rebecca.
and just like.
I'm glad that the people internationally are able to watch the recording and laugh with us about the moles.
Yes, go ahead.
Just letting you know it's recorded.
Oh, well,
Rebecca?
it's not a question related to the
It's life.
annual aims, but it's a question like how you have like the quarterly quest, the monthly missions, and the weekly wins.
Yes.
How do you like actually plan out the whole year? Like, I understand what you're saying in the leadership tip, but I'm like trying to put it to practice.
That's good. And I'm glad you're here because if you keep coming for the next 3 Wednesdays, including this Wednesday, you're going to see the process from beginning to end.
Don't look at that one.
This
1 minute warning.
is how we're doing it, and I'll just give you an overview of what we're doing now. With this annual, we're looking at what are the potential annual aims we could do, and we're going to prioritize what are the top things. We're going to ruthlessly just say no to a lot of things, and we're going to break them down. Well, really the only purpose of this one is to identify what are the 3 to 5 that we're going to do this year. And then next Wednesday is a quarterly, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at these 3 to 5, and we're going to basically visualize what could be done and then prioritize what's the highest important, and then we're going to organize into planning scopes of 3 months. How can we take each aim and make them 4 quarterly quests to reach towards the annual aim? We're going to do that next Wednesday. And then the Wednesday following, we're going to take a quarter and break it down into a monthly mission for January.
Okay, guys, we're ready to start.
Okay.
Thank
Is
you.
there like a framework I could copy so I could do it for me personally?
Yeah, the closest thing I would say is the meeting minutes that we have.
The what?
The meeting
We're at
minutes.
the right place.
If you go to Notion and type in 12, 16, 20,
They're open
it'll pop up.
there.
The template. I would use the templates.
Okay.
The templates on the AOI session.
Yeah, the template.
Let's see.
Squad leader checklist.
It kind of goes through it.
I think
What do
I
you do?
I
How do
see
you know
it.
which one to choose?
Alright, cool. We're gonna get started.
You can put 'em
Our
on.
sister
Okay.
said, but
Oh, it doesn't
Rebecca can hear, then our other sister
Shanicia?
Doesn't
should
matter
be
which
able
one
to
you
hear,
choose.
right?
I
Yeah.
believe we're
Yeah.
on number 12 now.
So,
Are we at 12? Or
Yeah,
concur?
number 12. Webinar funnel's already there, so we could delete that. Tina.
Number 12, webinar funnel.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then 13 is Instagram, content creation, content remixing, content multiplier course, content fries, all hands on deck. Oh, that was a thing for the Leaves of Autumn. I wanna bold that because I think that's a high priority. What was I saying? For the Leaves of Autumn to publish 100 pieces of content, we found a program that was literally created. It's like attention all funnel hackers, content multipliers, and it was like people who watch Peng Joon, Russell Brunson, and Gary Vee when it comes to like content creation, and they literally created this program so that we could take long form pillar content and break them down to a bunch of micro content and contextualize them for Facebook. So it speaks Facebook's language, and the same thing with the button speaks Instagram language and in YouTube, and it's all just like with like you put templates in and it's all systems for multiplying, and it takes
That's
it basically takes all Russell Brunson's daily publishing training, all of Peng Joon's like content multiplier course, and it created an app, a program, a software to just you put in a live cast and boom, it pumps out 100 pieces of content from that one live
Can you
cast.
imagine that? That
I-
saves us so
is
much
it-
time.
Yes. So
We
what I
don't
was
have to have 15 people
That is-
doing it. Go ahead, sister.
so cool.
that is really cool,
Oh, yes.
and they
I'm
literally
saying that is so cool.
it is. So what I think could be a major game changer for this year, and that's exactly what they were selling. They're like, look, Gary Vee has a team of like 90 people. That's why he does content like crazy. But
Not everyone has that.
yeah, they're like, and for those of us who don't have a team of 90, we can use Content Fries. And Content Fries is designed to replace or compete with like a lot of his professional people who do that, and with one program just break it up. So what I'm thinking is, as far as our content team or volunteers or people or whatever, if we just funnel people's attention to that program, and we can learn that program and use the program, then it can quote content, it'll create quote cards, it'll transcribe it and turn it into ebooks, and with one button it links with our blog. Click a button, boom, and it's published on our blog. Transcripts.
How much is this program?
Well, I think it was like $80 for a lifetime deal. Because I got it on its first week of its launch, it's brand new, which means that like there's a lot of people who came to it, but in the group, Facebook group, I could talk to the owner and he's responded to several of my things. People request features, and like there's been like I've said like, hey, I really want the longer trim, I want this feature sooner, and he'll listen, he'll pull the audience, and he'll do it. And he's already been updating it. He's active, and you could talk to him because he's a startup. And yeah, it's really cool. So
This is good news.
yeah, it's gonna be probably
that's
like
gonna- that's gonna
$200 a
change it.
month program
Yes,
or
yeah.
$100, but we got it for a lifetime.
Yeah, can you believe that? And at a locked-in rate.
Yes.
Because rates change.
Yes.
They get higher.
That's exactly right.
Especially if they work. And a lot of people need it. More it's in demand.
Yeah.
The beginning stages is always cheap.
Yeah. So I think with that, as
Wow.
far as that goes, if we focus our attention and teams to master that tool,
Where can we put that under? Is it just by itself there?
It's already
Well,
out there.
there.
Content
Yeah.
fries,
yeah, it's 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
content multiplier.
And then 13 is to raise up an affiliate army, which is basically a digital co-operator program to be a means for that people working with the Army of Youth. They could also be financially self-supported in their labors for the Lord. Like rather than like selling books door to door, they can sell courses, or they could like buy their referrals for whatever, if it's a course or a program or something. ClickFunnels allows us to send money to their account. We could do 50-50 to help support them in their ministries for the Lord and helping people find direction from God or things like that. So that's an idea. But not only that, with Dream 100, a lot of times with Dream 100, if you're like, hey, would you be willing to share this invite to our lead magnet or to our webinar? And they'll get a percentage, and they're far more willing to do that.
Well, and you know what the good thing about that is not even just getting leads for us, it's actually getting us in the door with them anyway.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Because when they can make money off of you and you come up like that, but then you also have all their people and you're part of that group now. Now
Yeah.
you're part of their hub,
It's
which is good.
It is very good. And with Bible work, we call it the mutual friend method, where because they really trust the Dream 100, and the Dream 100 is recommending us, so then there's mutual trust automatically given to us because they trust the Dream 100 so much. So that's an idea,
That's really good.
and that's really what all Dream 100 is affiliate
That's
stuff.
really what that is. So can we put that underneath the Dream 100?
Yeah. Do we have Dream 100 on?
Engineering.
Oh yeah, there you go. Those are connected. And then 14 is well, not just my task, but again, this was kind of from my year
Right.
review.
Oh, that's 14 is free to focus course.
So 13, I'm
That's a
talking
course
about.
too.
It says ministry tasks through the Freedom Compass. Like that's an activity I'd like to do with people, and a long-term goal. Doesn't necessarily have to be an annual aim, but I think it should be part of our culture. That are like he calls it a North Star. It's not really like it's not like a destination you arrive in a month or so, but to try to find everybody a place where they're both passionate and proficient about the work that they're doing. So we're giving them tasks, and that's basically what we call working in their gift. He gave us a framework. He gave us an actual method.
So does that go
to
in
do
with
that.
the onboarding?
Yes, that's
Okay,
definitely
that's
onboarding
good.
stuff.
Onboarding.
That's HR, human
Okay.
resource stuff.
That's something that could be implemented. Yeah.
Tina, you want to move it
To where?
to the onboarding? Is there something on the onboarding up there?
I don't think we have one.
I don't think so.
Something about the volunteer form? We could probably clump it next to the volunteer.
Form, yeah.
Ah. Right here? Like that?
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Another thing I learned with or what I observed this year with the volunteers is that this year we had a lot of volunteers doing. I think one of our big failures with them was we had them doing work for the sake of giving them an opportunity, and sometimes we gave them things to do that we were not ready for them to do, or we didn't have the attention to support them.
Yeah.
But because their talents did not fit with what we were currently focused on, we gave them somewhere else and they fizzled out, or we set them up for failure. And I think this year we either need to. I'm glad we have the squads, because I think squads could help everybody and still help them be a part of the community without dying out. Where if we're not ready for their talents right now and our current initiative or ability to focus, we should probably procrastinate their involvement on purpose, but involve them in the squad so they're still getting served.
Right, and that's a good place to begin them anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we need that, and on top of that, that helps them grow. Plus, it gives them an opportunity to take the time to go through their checklist, which has all that information that they can actually share with the people that they're talking to.
That's
So I mean,
right,
it's
true.
actually really a good thing to put them involved with that as soon as they come on board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
and like especially people who want to get involved in ministry, they want to start
Like,
like
that's what they want to do.
that's what they
Yeah.
want to do anyways.
That's why they're here.
So
Yeah.
that could definitely be like the entry level
Yes.
to bring them into more.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I think
Good
it is
idea,
great.
Tina. Thank you. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Do we have it kind of how we're gonna? I mean, a little bit more detailed there. Just
You want to put that for the volunteer? You can put it on the volunteer form or wherever. You might be able to create a higher level number there for
Man, that's gonna change a lot of
onboarding
things.
or HR. It will.
Yeah.
I
And-
don't know.
It's number 5. Brendan Burchard, in his event on his Influencer Summit that we attended, it was actually his event in 2019 that I went to in San Diego. That is the reason why we started a subscription program. He said any of you guys could start a subscription program in a week from today if you really wanted to. And I was like, what? We can start that in a week? I've been trying to create a course for 12 months and I still don't have a course. We can start it, and he sold me on the idea of a subscription program, a monthly live cast. And so that event was a turning point for us all. and
Just say-
we went to it again this year, but it was virtual because of COVID. And this lady who grew huge on Instagram, I think she calls her community like Boss Babe, but she was saying you need to have one extremely clear call to action, one community you're inviting people to. For her, it was a $7 a month like group membership, but for us, it's like the squads. I saw in her council was like you need to have one very clear call to action everybody goes to, and from there they could be invited to come higher. But have one group so it's not unclear where they go, and people watch our videos, but then eventually they make the decision to self-elect and say, I want to get more involved. And it's a squad. So I was like, that sounds like what we're doing, that sounds good. So it was confirmation we're going the right direction.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I'm glad we're almost done here. So
The next one was it like 13? Isn't that like implementing the course again?
that, not again, that's different.
No, I mean like courses. Does it go underneath all the courses?
Yeah, that would go under the course. So free to focus is my word of the year, my theme for this year is focus, and I'm gonna be doing as much as I can to understand how to
So that's
focus.
your word for the year.
Yeah,
is
for the year.
focus. And
Last year was intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I want to add to this list now that we're talking that I really would, that
Great.
something that really stands out to my head that I wish I knew and I want more clarity on it
Uh-huh.
is the people that subscribe. I would love to, like you said, they give the testimonies on there. Oh, this is how it's changing my life. I'm curious how many of them use them in ministry, the skills that they're learning through the courses that they're going through.
So that's number 11.
Is that number 11?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Okay. Did I miss it? Let me look. Thank you.
Those are the people who are going through our live cast and our training. How are they using it in ministry? How are they using it in their life? What is it doing for them? And it's having written student testimonials, case studies, and video case studies, audio case studies. Just seeing how.
I can't wait for that to really bloom because that's why we're doing everything we're doing.
It is.
I want to know
completely
the
agree.
outcome.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Everybody wants to know, and any donors who want to help support what we're doing, they're going to want to know testimonies. Any people viewing from afar, they're going to want to know testimonies because everybody, like I was talking to Shanicia, I posted on my story, I was like, hey, I shared a testimony about this, who wants it, or who would like to view, and she's like, I'm a sucker for testimonies, send me a link.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, people like that.
Yes, they do.
And then 13 is a count book team. We might be able to focus more on that for this year because there's a lot of updating to do, and there's a lot of like potentially. Tina, alright, can you write this?
Yes.
You seem a little
Focus on my
distracted.
nails. I'm listening.
I love it.
We could potentially do like a morning routine course. We could do like just a whole life evaluation type course to help people. We can integrate some of these concepts with our account book. And today at 1, Mom Cameron and I are going to get together to see how can we publish it on Amazon. How can we do it? Skip blurb and just go through a funnel where they click it, it'll automatically send to them because right now it's hard to order. And how can we publish it with a spiral bound so it could lay flat and you don't have to hold it, or it'll fold behind itself. I think it'll be a lot easier to use than in a glue binding. So we don't know how to do that, but there's things like that. I know that like we went through Alex Sharfin's planner and it was really cool because he had a course to go with. The Desire Ladder came from his course, and that was with his his planner. And it was all fit together. So I'm like, if we could provide and get clear on what course or planner or like training would we want to companion with it, that's going to take time and effort to do. So we want to be considered about that. And that's going to take some,
I did have something that every month you could work towards that, little pieces of it, and get done but I have I would set a deadline, like I want, like by the first quarter.
And milestones.
Yeah, milestones.
Yes.
This way it can get done.
And number 14 is the same as optimizing our ugly funnels.
So maybe just put that up there. Where's
And 15 is a digital speaking tour where it's a lot easier. In addition to building, like there was a time last year, another thing that discouraged me is with the Day Live videos where I stopped just because we were doing them. And I saw we weren't really reaching the amount of people I wanted to reach with the amount of effort we were putting into live videos. But I have since learned that, and someone was saying that like organic traffic, which is like you don't pay for ads or views. Organic reach is way harder because of noise and all that. There's just a lot out there for people fighting for people's attention, and and that paid is a better way to go, or Dream 100. So when I shifted to Dream 100, I realized that's a secret. The secret to reaching more people is collaborating with people who already have audiences. So I stopped doing Day Live videos. And I was seeing that we should probably figure out the paid traffic. Tried to work with Brother Herzl, did not work out much at all. And then the Dream 100, I was kind of paralyzed in June or so, thinking like, what do we have to offer our Dream 100? Like, what value could we provide them that would actually help them? That wouldn't take a lot of my time or our resources of time.
So what did you see would?
Well, I went back to the Traffic Secrets and it clicked and it dawned on me again. One of the greatest gifts that we have to Dream 100 is our platform, our audience, our show. That when you have a show, all the Dream 100 want to be on your show. You can interview them. That's one of the greatest ways to add value and build relationships with these Dream 100 is by interviewing them on your show, because you're giving them access to a new audience that they otherwise don't. So it's very hard for them to say no to that. And I was like, wow, that's profound. So I was thinking it was like either or, but it's actually both. And because we have to do Day Live videos to maintain the show and interview them, so they'll want to be on that show. And I was like, wow, that's powerful. And then I also learned with the Day Live videos, at the beginning, it's not as much about the people who we're serving as it is for finding my voice and being it consistently and continuing to teach the message. And every time I'm sharing it, it's getting more and more fine-tuned. And Russell was saying that I have to give our audience or give our people enough time to find us. We have to publish every day for a year until they're able. That gives them opportunity to share. A lot of people joined his podcast when he was on episode 300 or something, and they never heard about him until he published every day for 300 days. And then when they really enjoyed it, they went back to the beginning and they binged listened to every single one they missed. But had he had quit at 50, and Steve Larson, another friend of Russell's, was like, yeah, when Russell first started, it was bad. I listened to the first 50 podcasts, and it's it was right about episode 50 that he, you could tell he found his voice, he found what he was doing, and then it just took off. It went a lot better as performance, as speaking goes. But had he quit at number 20 or 30 or 40, then we wouldn't, all these people would never have been able to blessed by his service. And I was like, whoa, that's I quit at, was it 21 in 2019, and then quit at 20 or 30 in 2020. So that was something that really hit me too, is the finding the voice element and giving them enough time to find us. And that's our service to the Dream 100. So, well,
could also the thing that we offer to the Dream 100 too would be our squads, because that's really going to bring a lot to anybody. They're going to want us on their platform for that reason, so they have somewhere to send people to. Because if they have the same desire we have to reach the lost, they might be under-equipped, and if we're equipped, we can take over that whole thing, and they'll be so glad for us to be there.
Yes, that's my dream.
Yeah, because if we're, I was thinking, if you're a speaker somewhere, you don't want to just leave people high and dry when you leave. Right. You don't want to leave them product, but on the same token, if you could leave them something that somebody's going to do one-on-one with them.
Yep. Follow up and that personal touch that you can't scale that.
No. So that's, I think that's one thing that we're going to have to offer that's going to be dynamic, in my opinion. And we have Tina that's really involved in that, so that's great. We have a leader right there.
Tina, you need to stand up.
Maybe.
It would probably help. So the digital speaking tour is kind of similar. That's going on their shows.
Okay, going on their shows.
Sharing.
Okay.
but we have and
Kind of like what you did. Well, I mean that was like very small scale.
with
But like
Ezekiel,
Ezekiel.
yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Because there's new
It's like
people.
we brought
that-
so many more people than he usually had.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, going on other people's audiences, it's the same thing. Like we provide for them, they provide for us. We can, like, I was just really meditating on it this week. You know, so like majority of the volunteers that we worked with this year, like let's say a third of them came from just one youth militant group on Instagram. That's where I met Kalima and Leah and Shatal and some other people. Just from that one thing, and then Anel and Musa. It's just this little, like, you know how we have messenger chats? Carlos has a messenger chat with all these young people, and they're just like mature-minded young people, and he added me there. And it was actually Rebecca Zebulon. Zebulon added me to that group, and I guess Carlos, the leader of it, he's like the shepherd, or who's the one who congregated the people. And he watched my videos when he was like 13 years old. He's like 19 now, and I didn't know that. So I was able to talk with him, and then all these people just started one by one. They started volunteering and getting involved and helping, and they see more of their friends, and they wanted to join. And then Leah, she just went through and she was recruiting a bunch, and so what it hit me is like literally this Dream 100 thing is real. That was on a small scale, but if we can go to the people who are congregating our ideal contacts who we're trying to reach, then there's no limit to who we can reach.
I agree. This is good. Okay.
That's what I got.
Does somebody else want to add something to this that they see that we're needing to accomplish for this next year, or the aim?
Or add priority to ones that are there too, like both
That
of them.
also, either and.
Yes.
I think, let's see. Of course, I think SEO.
Right.
But isn't it on there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, just
Who was
lost
that?
it.
That's mine.
Okay, and then, what was it, 13? Oh, I think practice running ads is good. Priority. And,
Anna.
I don't know, I think, coming together, like with Michael Hyatt's stuff, I think that's good.
I would say improving our ugly funnels, improving like the ugly stuff that we did, like which the email sequence. We want to improve that too.
Yeah.
Should I put that into here?
That's
I
part
know
of
it's
it.
not really
It is part of it.
secrets.
Deadline. Yeah, that is the email sequence there. You can put the word email sequence there. But yeah, we need to write email sequences for the account book as well, and the course. I skip that because I don't like writing emails, but those are so important.
I think the interviews will, really do us good too. Yeah.
Kamran, do you have anything you want to add
Or prioritize.
or prioritize?
Oh, you had making the developing more course things through the daily live videos. I think that's like really.
So we need to
You mean through the live cast?
Yeah, the live cast. That's what I meant. Yeah, I
You
think
were-
that's like
I think
something.
we're trying to prioritize right now.
Let's see.
Repurposing the live cast, you're saying.
Yes.
I completely agree.
Where is it?
I think that's improving our ugly funnels. It fits under there.
How about the Instagram content creation, content remixing, content multiplier, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, for sure. It's hard because we can't do everything.
It's okay. Okay.
Can't do everything.
Not yet.
Because you know what, we can always add to it. We just have ones that we have to, our basic ones that we're gonna really
The
focus
squad
on.
ministry.
Yeah, high levels.
High levels, thank you.
I'm just gonna put some like further up.
Yeah, we could do it. We could prioritize them. We're stack ranking right now.
How about the avatar stuff?
The testimonials that Diana was talking about.
You mean interviewing Dream 100?
What about it?
Which one were you talking about?
You just said Avatar. You didn't
this
say
one?
Dream 100.
Here with us, here with us, we
Sounds kind of cool.
like that?
It's interesting.
It's nice that these are, what you call them, stacking? Is that what you're calling?
Stack ranking.
Stack ranking.
So we're ranking them by priority and level of importance. Which ones are going to have the greatest impact, and which is number one? What is going to, like, out of everything that we do on the list, like, what has the highest priority?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to have the greatest impact?
Right.
Which one do you guys see would have the greatest impact out of all of them?
Oh man.
Well, I think you have
I think
3 different areas.
interviews
though, you know?
You're right.
or SEO, either SEO or interviews, either one.
SEOs or interviews. Interesting.
How
Comment.
about if we
What
just
are-
had
what are
something
you
basic like
thinking?
marketing and then everything else is under marketing?
That's a good way to look at
You know
when
what I
you're
mean?
looking. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, someone just
okay.
disappeared.
Who left?
Okay.
Shanicia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's funny that you say that because that's really a good way to really look at it is if you have one for marketing, like that's like trying to bring people to us. You also have one of where we're producing, whatever we're producing.
Yeah, the art.
The art. You have the one category, and the third one is what? What's our third category? Would it be
Maybe team building.
Outreach.
team building? Yes, like the in-house.
Marketing,
Marketing
the art,
is outreach.
and what?
Yeah, I'm talking about in-house. So that means all the trainings and all the stuff. That's a lot of
Okay, so marketing, art, and what?
marketing.
Team building, leadership growth, like something. Yeah, in-house.
Team leadership, yeah,
in-house type.
Yeah. 'Cause
HR
that takes a
onboarding.
lot. So everything can stay moving. I mean, it's a big, huge department.
It's like operations stuff.
Yeah, it's serious.
So what if we like filter them through this stuff,
Yeah, I think
like through the eyes of like marketing, art, and team building? Or is there any other like very big thing?
The Secret Trilogy.
That'd be marketing.
You want me to put them under all these categories?
Yeah, the Secret Trilogy definitely covers a lot. You think that's the one thing we can do to make everything else easier and necessary?
I think it covers a lot.
I think it covers a lot too.
Well, if you put them underneath each one of these categories,
That's one thing to
the
know
marketing,
what's
the
in
art,
there.
and the team building,
Nothing to implement it.
we will have a lot to work towards this year, and we will have something to work with.
But what would be our annual aim? It has to be, let's use SMART. Specific, measurable, actionable,
hmm
reasonable in the sense of it has
Well,
strong reasons.
Why don't we start with the marketing first? Because I think that is one.
Yeah, okay.
Let's start
So
with that. And
is there anything that's of higher priority than implementing the trilogy secrets?
uh,
I don't know what it all includes, so
if we put everything underneath that, underneath marketing, you would know what it is, all of it, right? The trilogy secrets, and what else is underneath marketing?
No, I mean like the annual aim would be to implement the trilogy, the entire trilogy secrets books.
Okay. Then we wouldn't necessarily have those 3 categories, right?
That would be the marketing annual aim. I'm asking if there's anything of higher priority.
In the marketing area.
Yeah, in the marketing category, that would be more important to do. I know one we had for the annual
How
aim.
about if we have one of the annual aims like optimization? You know what I mean?
Like
Because there's quite a few things we want to optimize.
optimize the. I know last year it was complete the Direction from God value ladder, and you're saying like optimize the Direction from God value ladder,
Kind of like that, yeah.
or optimize our marketing of the Direction from God value ladder.
Yeah. I guess it could be like optimize the whole Direction from God value ladder.
The marketing of the ladder.
Could be either. And then whatever else is involved in that.
Well, we know that the course, anything to do with that, where there's going to be the finances are changing. I think that's going to have to be a high priority, you know. So whatever we choose to do, it will have to be something that generates finances. I would think, because there's a lot of responsibility. So I would think that anything that enlists that. For squad ministry, what would we want the outcome? What would we want that to look like? When we say squad ministry, what would we want that to look like? Just to partner with the Dream 100 and funnel their contacts to a squad. But what do we want it to look like? What's our goal? Is it to have better fellowship with them, to have more people, to have them distribute more of our content out there? What do we want from the squads? What do we want the squads? What do we want to accomplish?
Do you have suggestions, Mom?
Well, I was just thinking that it's, you know, people might not know that they want to work with us, and it's a good segue into bringing people to get to know us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not really expect anything out of them.
That's
just
right.
to get them to know us. And then, you know, as people become leaders, we'll see who really leads and how they function and stuff like that. It'll, you know, that way we don't run
So you're
across-
wanting to develop leaders through the squads that
Yeah.
you're seeing.
And
That's good.
basically filter the volunteers that we work with.
Right.
Okay. So maybe send them through a funnel, a type of a funnel.
Well, actually,
Well, they're
the
gonna be
squads
filters.
is actually called an invisible funnel.
I would say
So
it
it's-
should be going one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, the small group, the funnel is like they come to the landing page, they invite thearmyofyouth.com/squads, and that invite, then they join this small group, and which they call like a mastermind in the marketing term. So it's a small group, it's a mastermind, and at the end of that, then they're offered like they can come up higher to volunteer or get an account book or whatever. So that's like part of the funnel.
That's pretty good.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, because that's how we know that things move faster. Is through a funnel.
Yeah.
We know that that's the key that we want to focus toward. And that's what we're doing. That is kind of how our ladder set up. It's kind of a funnel. I mean, it has steps, but it's still
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So-
Jackie, did you do anything?
So we have volunteering, filtering the volunteers through the squads. What was that, Kathy?
Do you like Michael, the guy that we're listening to? He
Michael
has
Hyatt?
an ER on it. Smart, not just smart, but smarter.
Exciting and relevant.
Yes. Exciting and relevant. Added onto it.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I like the in my head for the squads. I like seeing them. To me, the funnel is going to be the thing that I would like to focus mentally in my head, because I feel like they're coming for something. They're going to get something.
Yeah.
they're gonna get to fall into something, which is great. You're always giving them something. You know?
Yeah, and
if
and
we
they
don't
have
have the
access to our trainings too.
And if we don't have the funnels and the training, that kind of stuff running, and there's like faults, and then we lose a lot
We
of
lose a
people.
lot of people, yeah. So they need to fall into something, one or the other. Yeah. So yeah, that's great. High priority, would you say that's out of, we're choosing 3 today, is that correct?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Would we count that as a very height or middle?
Or what if we choose 5 and then we
Okay, we'll do that. I just thought
say
it'd be
which
faster.
one, then say which ones those,
Okay. We'll just,
because we wouldn't know unless we could compare it to the other ones.
well, but we already, yeah. And that's what we're doing. We're comparing with all the others. But the thing about it is if you put it somewhere, at least you can shuffle it. You know, you can move it up and down as you're going through it. But if you put it kind of where you think it's going to be, it's easier to balance it out, believe it or not, than to have it still in the same list again. Because it's already in a list. Everything's in a list.
I know what we do is we take the list, we look at the list and we say, this one looks like number 1, this one
It
looks
just
like
keeps it
number
from having
2.
to rehash it is all. But we could do that. That's good.
No, but then all you do is you collect the 1, 2, 3. Like
But then you
that.
have to rehash again to say which one you think is really, if that was
No,
really high or not.
they're already
Oh, are they? Okay, so.
because when you look at the list, one might be number 6.
Right.
And we put a 6 by it, we don't have to rehash that anymore.
So it sounds like you guys are saying the same thing.
I know, but she was saying to put it somewhere right now if we say if it's.
If you put a 6 by it, that's the same concept. That is putting it.
Yes.
Well, against everything else?
Yeah, because you can always change it, but at least it's somewhere. At least it's somewhere. It's like when you're doing a puzzle. If you know that you're going to use this piece, you put it right here, and then you build around it, and then you build up from it or down below it. But you have to start with one to work the rest of the pieces. Because if not, you just have them all sitting there, and you don't know where. You have to start with one, and then build it up. That's how I see things done. But doing a 6, that is exactly what you're saying. It's the same thing. Okay, so what's the second one? What's the next one that we think is really high?
Well, what do we... So, are we specific with marketing, and are we specific with a squad?
Well,
Do we have something to measure? Did we decide that if we're moving on?
we haven't measured it.
So who will do what by when as measured by, which we have it by the end of the year, but
We haven't
who's...
all-
Optimize all of our marketing funnels.
I think we should be implementing the trilogy secrets.
Yeah.
And that's under marketing.
So
Right.
who would be responsible for implementing that?
How do you decide?
Who's doing the marketing?
Because we're running ads for video, optimizing our marketing.
I want to help with marketing.
I know that me, Mom, Carmen, and Diana help a lot with marketing.
We should put Conron on it.
Carmen was responsible for the systemology.
Yeah, he did a great job.
That was the one
Is
one
that-
annual aim that we
is
did
that
that got
done?
the best.
Yeah.
It's complete. It's the best one that we did the whole year.
Yes.
It's one that Carmen led. That was really in his desire zone. He was proficient and passionate about it.
That's
Do
good.
what you love. It makes a world of difference.
Here's the one.
What do you think, Kamran? You up to heading up the marketing?
Implementing the traffic secrets? Trilogy secrets?
Whoa.
Or do you want to save yourself for something else bigger that needs to be done?
I don't know what's bigger than that. It's probably the most important annual aim of the year.
Do you enjoy doing it?
Scary.
Is
I
it fun?
enjoy sketching them out.
Ah, that's good. That's a good thing. How do you feel about leading?
Oh boy.
Is that something
stretch.
you would feel comfortable doing, Diana?
You know what? That's something. It's something I want to do personally anyway.
It's a skill you're wanting to develop.
That's good.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I could lead out with that.
Wow.
It'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to harmonize our desires
Yeah.
so that our effort in ministry is not like compartmentalized somewhere else, but it's actually furthering us to live our calling.
Wow.
So like that, to start,
Yeah, Kamran
we'll lead the marketing team.
will lead, no, let's say the team. It's really the entire ministry
Yeah.
is going to be involved in that. Kamran will lead the team to implement the entire Trilogy Secret books.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Praise the Lord. One's done.
One is done! Now
Hallelujah.
for the squads.
Is that the one we want to do? I still think optimizing should be one of them. Optimizing our stuff.
Optimizing, you mean getting all of our stuff that we already have and getting it out there to the
Yeah,
public? I agree
optimizing
with you
it.
100%. I'm with Tina on that one. I'd love to see all of our stuff.
Because some of our stuff is kind of falling through the cracks.
We don't want to lose any of it. We want to send it out there. We want to get.
So,
Clean it up
optimize.
and like optimize.
And what are you seeing, Tina? How do you think we should optimize this? What's your idea? What do you think would be the way to optimize this?
Well, even the account book is included in it too, like optimizing
Yes.
optimizing it, and like, you know, what you said, like publishing it with the spiral bound and that kind of stuff is like making it better. And also like the email sequences that we have for the 4 secrets, and like just overall, even the DFG webinar, like things like that. I think they just need to be optimized.
Tina, I think you are right on. I think we should put Tina in charge of that.
That's what I was saying too.
Nice job. I think you can handle it.
I believe
Well,
in you
the
too.
thing is, I don't really know how to like
It's okay.
do this stuff. I just
It's okay.
know there's a lot of stuff that
But
needs
you're
to
seeing
be
it, and you know what? When you see it,
optimized.
you can look for solutions because you're seeing what's missing and what's needing. So that's good. You're the perfect person for it. Would you be willing to have that? You're not alone. You got a team. You got all of us here. You're not by yourself.
The key is to outsource the things you don't understand, and you just kind of talk about it. Like what you're doing right now, you're like,
You're
this
doing a
needs
great
to
job.
not be forgotten. That's what you're going to
That's
do
awesome.
this year.
That's what a leader does. They don't do the work.
Yeah.
They see the problem and they say, "Hey, we need to address
They
this."
bring attention of the people
problem.
to a desired outcome in the
you don't do all the
future.
work. You recognize what needs to be done, and like you have a vision and dream where it needs to be, and that's good. What do you think? Someone put you down for
And
yes?
we're all visioneering together.
If I'm not the only one doing it,
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
of course
like,
not.
if
Yeah,
if-
of course not.
Thank you, Tina. Well, we got Tina on there.
Oh my! I don't know
Congratulations,
what to
Tina.
think about that.
We got her on there. Okay, just say yes. We got to hear the word yes out of you. It's YES. It's 3 letters. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. All right.
Sentence.
Got Tina on there. Okay. Rebecca, what are you seeing that we need to do? What needs to be done that we really need to accomplish this year? I'm yelling as if she can't hear me. She's in another country. Hey, Rebecca! Okay. I don't see her. She might have walked away for a minute.
She's here.
Oh, she here?
She's there, but she's muted. So
She is muted, yeah.
You'd have to unmute yourself, Rebecca. I don't think she might have had to use the ladies' field or something. I don't know. Angela, are you still with us?
optimize.
Okay, let's move on to the third one, guys. Here we go. What are we seeing as the other thing? We said squads, right? The squads ministry. Is that pretty huge? Do we feel like that's a really big thing that really needs to be developed so that we can use it for the tool to do our Dream 100 people, and we can also use it for just growing the ministry in general?
I think it was one of the best decisions we made in several years.
Who do you think that has a vision for this, like what it needs and where it needs to go, and Who has that dream of where it needs to go? Who do we know?
What is it?
The squads.
Squad ministry.
What's his face? David Cho says that the senior pastor should be responsible for leading out the squads. And if the senior pastor isn't the one involved, then it's not going to work. And he gave like several examples of a bunch of people who tried to have an associate pastor do it, and none of them succeeded.
Well, then you know what? Guess what? Do you know what that means?
I could lead it out. I'm okay with that.
Okay, there we go. So we have, that's 3 of them. I think we should still have one more.
That's in my desire zone because I love giving Bible studies and teaching people how to give Bible studies.
I love teaching.
Those are my
So praise
joys.
the Lord.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And the cascading communication, knowing that the frameworks are going to be deeply like spread, that's
So that
encouraging.
includes like
Nice job. So that's 3, guys. That's good. Now let's come up with our 4th one. Which one, guys?
Where'd Rebecca go?
She probably had to. Somebody probably called her and rang the doorbell.
Well, there's 2 things that look like heavy things. Is basically the content creation leaves the bottom, like content multiplying.
Mm-hmm.
so Instagram.
And what was the other thing? And our teams.
Our teams, what does that mean? Is that
Team building.
Team building?
Yeah. Because
And where does that consist of team building?
well, like our in-house onboarding volunteer, developing leaders, just helping people to communicate better, work better together.
Where's
That was what Rebecca was saying we really need to do more of.
Maybe she would be willing to head up that.
So I was hoping she would be here and say something.
Rebecca.
Hi, I just came back on. Sorry.
Okay.
I feel like sounds like you've been running somewhere.
Enoch was bringing up something. What was that again, Enoch?
We were talking about what needs to be addressed for this year. We're kind of like organizing and choosing and committing to which ones we're going to do. We prioritize stuff and we're looking at what would be the next major thing to do. So far, we've got the Kamran leading the team to implement the entire Trilogy Secrets books, and then Tina to lead the team to optimize the marketing funnels for the Direction from God value ladder. And I don't have anything for the squads. We didn't actually finish that.
Okay. Okay. So, can we come back to the school?
Yeah, we can.
Were you all like asking me a question?
Yeah, so our question is, we're wondering, we need 3 to 5 annual aims. We're wondering if you see anything that should be on this list that is not yet. We got 3 things so far.
Hold on, let me get back to the page.
Where's the SEO at?
Somewhere in there.
What about developing the graphic teams? Is that on there?
What would that fall under? Enoch? Graphic.
That would be
Developing. That's a good thing.
that would be a smaller section of
Developing the teams?
of team building,
Oh.
or which Tina has on here twice for some reason.
Sorry.
And content creation,
What are you guys choosing from?
but we're on step 3, Mom.
Yeah, I know, but what? I don't see SEO on step 3.
Yeah, it's
I see a box beside SEO, but I don't see that implemented in anything.
that is it. That's it right there.
It's all by itself.
No, it's not by itself. It's on a list of a whole bunch of other stuff. It's just a checkbox
Instead of a number list?
instead of a number, but it's still part of the same list here.
That should be part of
this is what we're choosing here.
marketing.
It is part of marketing.
How come it's not up there with the marketing then?
It is.
I don't know.
That's part of That's
This
part
is
of implementing Traffic Secret.
number
the Trilogy
two.
Secrets.
Number 2 says marketing, and then it's got a bunch of things that you could do for marketing.
There you go.
We did not elaborate on number
Thank you.
1.
Okay.
You can
Well,
go
now
back
I'm
to that.
happy. Thank you.
So Rebecca, so what we're looking at as the team builder would be somebody that would be working with the did we say graphic designs? Is that what she said?
She's a graphic design team.
She said graphic design,
team.
but it's more than graphic design. It's audio, video, and written.
Team. Alright, are you familiar with all those areas, Rebecca?
I think that's nice.
She likes publishing.
Kind of. I read the trilogy books, but not detailed.
What do you think about, if you look through those real quick, Tina, which one is that? So she can kind of look at it. We're under step 3.
It just says team building.
Does it have a number beside it or nothing? Okay.
It's a number 1.
Okay, so it's.
I see the team building.
Okay. What do you think about that? Do you think you'd be interested in leading that out this year, for this coming year?
I think so.
Oh, wonderful. Good. And
Especially the graphic teams.
not just one area. It would be like for all of those areas, trying to develop that for the whole ministry. Trying to, not that you'd have to do all that yourself, because you wouldn't. You'd have to delegate, but you would have to see the need. A leader will have to see the need for those.
I'll have to think about it.
Let me give you some more information so you can think clearer on that. So each one of those departments, not
Okay.
necessarily that you would have to do those things, because that's not what a leader does. A leader has a vision of where it needs to go, that department, the team, where it needs to go and what needs to be accomplished, and they kind of have to have direction that way, what they're seeing. And then they don't have to implement it. What we do is, as a team together, we all work on how to get to that goal. But the team leader kind of sees where it needs to go to, where it's missing and what needs to happen. That's kind of what the team leader does there. So it's not like you would have to do all the work
Yeah,
yourself.
I understand that.
Okay. So what do you think?
I'm actually not sure because I'm not sure what I'm doing next year either. What if I'll be saying no to something else? So.
There you go. I hear you. Good
But-
communication.
But what teams would be building?
Video editing, graphic design,
Audio and writing.
audio and writing. But those teams would be each would have a leader who is leading out.
So writing would be like microblogging, and that would be really nice actually.
Yeah, writing would be like microblogging and actual blogs or Bible readings. Video would be like the meme videos for Instagram, and some short, like repurposing some of those videos and probably doing some of the course videos. Writing would also be online courses, course worksheets, assignments, and then audio would essentially be the audio for the podcast and
Which we get from like videos.
yeah, we get from the videos, and it would be for courses, audio for the podcast and courses. Can't think of anything else that would be doing. And then graphics would be like quote cards, slide design, and making diagrams for our frameworks, like those that we have on the board there with the focus funnel, and try and create things like that. And we'd have different leaders in each of those 4 categories. And we would have likely different leaders. They might have some overlap with some individuals, but There would essentially be different teams for platforms. Like Instagram. Well, I think we
Okay,
should
so
probably focus on Instagram.
Hi, Rebecca.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
This makes me remember like last year when you asked me to head the graphic design team. So I'll probably say yes.
Say yes. What did you say?
Yeah, to leading up the team building.
Okay, praise the
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, there we go.
I want to clarify though. I'd say like we started this talking about team building, but I want to say too that the team building is more than just. I mean, how do I say this? I think a better way to word it is the outcome that we're trying to get with these teams is these are teams that are built around the end goal of 100 pieces of content a day by the end of 2021. I think if we reuse that annual aim, these are the teams to make that happen. Basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still up for that outcome?
I think you did a great job.
I think so too.
And yeah, I think so. Because isn't that what Kim was doing this year?
Good.
That sounds
You're going to
great.
be excellent, Rebecca. I'm very glad you chose to do that. Thank you, sister. Excellent, excellent.
Wow, that's cool.
So we've gotten them chosen. We have room for one more, if anybody can think of one that's really high priority.
And we don't have to have another
And we
one.
don't have to have one, but if anybody thinks it's a priority.
Oh, the onboarding stuff.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Before like, wasn't Kim in charge of that before? Kind of.
Yes, she was.
But she's unable
But
to do that right now.
she
Okay.
hasn't had as much communication during this year for working towards that. And it was, I see that there was more enthusiasm in the first half or first quarter of the year, and then the last 2 quarters of almost, it sounds like maybe giving up on the dream or that goal. Part of it too I see is like what Diana was saying is we didn't really set the goals or the times to do that. It's difficult when
And the teams were really functioning like consistently, so we weren't able to meet like monthly and quarterly goals. I remember that with the Code Cat team.
yeah, we were scattering our resources of workers to build those teams, and it's not necessarily something that Kim did. It was
Yeah.
our fault for just the decisions we made for going different places. But
Focus.
yeah,
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, thank you. When it comes to onboarding, I think it is a high priority because that's a pulse on the ministry. You can put me down for that. I really like the onboarding. And there's things I see that need to be changed.
what would be your goal for onboarding?
For onboarding, my goal would be to have a system like me and Leah were talking about. We have a very basic bare bones structure, but we're finding that we're not able to really take a good depth on who's doing what and when. So we need to kind of re-change that up, and I sent her a message and I sent it to you too, and she's like, that would really, really work. So we're working out the bugs out of the onboarding system. So as a team, that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get that squared away, so the key people will be the onboarders should be able to get them plugged in with a team, such as with Rebecca's team or with the squads. We said we want to develop it where it has a purpose. What our
What
purpose is.
happened?
I'm sorry?
She's telling us.
So we want the onboarding to have a purpose, like the squads. The squads are very important. We want to get them plugged right into a squad now. We want to update it so it really is optimizing throughout the whole ministry. We really want it to go where it needs to go. We want to really make sure people are really, and it's I think it's starting to flow a little better.
That sounds really good, and I think I'm excited for that. Rebecca, can you mute yourself?
If they carry it backwards, it won't like because it rocks the ball.
Oh no, I can mute her
There you
without
go.
serving.
You
want me to meet her?
I muted her, and then she, I don't know, happened. Anyways, how can we? What? Can you read? I think what you said is very good. I added some things under number 5, where this would include the avatar interviews and feedback, which is what you were talking about, is how to ask our early adopters and our pioneer students the testimonies, gathering testimonies. So working with the funnel team to create those systems that we can gather their testimonies, collect them, store them, use them, repurpose them, and then drastically update the volunteer form, which is that whole system, the volunteer funnel process that you do. So that's everything you described, and you could add more things that you see that need to be changed. That sounds good. And also I was thinking along the lines of that is Michael Hyatt's Freedom Compass with the Desire Zone, what people are proficient, passionate
Yeah,
about.
love that.
So if we could like implement that tool throughout the whole ministry, would be
Let's
a
put
good.
that on there.
good
To
tool to
implement
use.
It's on
that
there.
throughout the whole ministry.
It's
It was
under
up there,
number
but it's not
5.
underneath number 5 number.
No, I don't
It's
think
one.
it's under number.
It's right here.
What?
It needs to
Ministry
be-
task 2, Freedom Compass.
Where do you see it?
I'm not seeing it. It's on number.
It's 1. It's
Oh,
2.
it's 5.2.1.
5.2.1.
Yeah, I see
Get
what
it?
you're saying.
There we go.
That makes sense. You see how I did that?
Yeah, it's actually a good idea.
It helps a lot. Okay, cool. So it's there. Yeah.
So so now we need to go back and just
Wow.
break them down now.
But well, actually,
Each one.
we're gonna do that on next Wednesday for the quarterly. We'll break them down into
Okay,
quarters.
quarterless. Okay.
So we get the objective, but before we finish, what measurable key result, what measure thing can we do for your onboarding?
For the onboarding, for measuring key results,
So like Diana will.
yeah. So mine is to, I don't know how I'd want to make the measurable key results. Give me an idea of how.
Mom, do you
it
have
would
some
look like.
suggestions?
What it would look like.
No.
This is not my strength. Sorry.
So Diana will.
The end in mind for me would be that every person that's on that volunteer page is within a week after on their volunteer page, that they are actually working, not in the ministry, but being signed up with the squad, and also working on their list and implementing the Michael, whatever his name is,
Michael Hyatt.
Hyatt's North Star, East Star, Morning
The
Star.
Freedom Compass.
Freedom Compass.
Order the Eastern Stars. We just sound like some Freemasons over here.
So implementing that to make sure that it's being implemented into our new onboarders. That's what I would say the key measurable result would be, and what that would look like. I don't know if that's clear enough or not.
No, I think these are good. We're on the right track. And did you write those down, Tina?
You wrote them down.
No, I just wrote down one thing. She said like 5 or 6. But so within a week, having people in the squads, that sounds like that could easily be accomplished
Yes.
before a year.
Yes.
Well,
that's an ongoing thing throughout the year.
it is.
It's a process of training everybody to make
So
sure-
one thing is like
Creating
having
a
the
process
system
to
down
do
pat. That's like the
That's the
biggest,
main
yeah,
thing.
The main thing.
Yeah.
So Diana will lead the onboarding team to by having a system for some.
To optimize
By
our
having a optimized system.
to lead the onboarding. No, we'll lead the onboarding team to optimize our volunteer system.
Because we want to have our volunteers in a squad. We also want to make sure that within the first week of them signing on to the volunteer page that they've received their checklist. And we also want to do our Michael Compass Rose.
North Star.
Yeah. There we go. To implement that, yes, with every new person. Yes. So that's going to really be a high priority, yes. And then, like we said, the rest we can kind of do on our next meeting next Wednesday, so we can get that squared away, breaking things into steps, quarterly. Because some of these will have to be broken.
I deleted that. There's that. Because I don't think that was right.
I don't know what other stuff.
That's all.
Diana
That's what was on there.
will optimize. I don't see it. Diana will optimize our volunteer
System? An onboarding system?
our
Comrade, I can tell your wheels are rolling. He is in deep thought. He is putting it together in his head right now.
Diana will optimize our onboarding volunteer system. I don't know what it'd be measured by. Dear Lord, please help us all.
Measured by a report? A monthly report? I don't know.
As measured by having
Oh, we can see.
everyone in their...
We could say a certain percentage of the applicants engaged within a week.
Well, we want to have them every week, every one of them.
Oh.
That is the goal.
I don't know if everyone who volunteers is really going to work out.
Well, we're going to
like,
put them in a squad, so so
as far as the
percentage-
law of numbers works,
Law of numbers? Okay,
not
so
everyone actually
you're right.
follows
So
through.
60%. 60%.
Doesn't the people in the squad, they already have a, like we're sharing a bunch of stuff with them and they're going through a lot.
We're just talking about the people that are that sign up with the volunteer form. We want to make sure that we put them in a squad. They can just attend it, or they can learn a skill, because any person that's volunteering anyway, they're volunteering to serve, period.
Yeah.
Because they're coming to they're not coming necessarily to the Army of Youth and volunteering on the volunteer page just to get information, like, oh, I want information. They're coming to actually serve. They want to serve. They want to be put to work right away.
They want to do, yeah. They
So
want,
so you're saying everybody who comes here is going to have to be in the squad?
In a volunteer page when they come.
There's a lot of people who join the volunteer who are not part of a squad. You're talking about people who are in a squad who volunteer.
But doesn't everybody who volunteers know about the squad?
They know about him, but they...
Then don't you think they would join it if they
I don't know
wanted
if
to?
I don't
Why
know if
make them?
everyone did.
No, not necessarily.
Why make them?
What make who?
Why make them join a squad?
We're not making anyone join a squad. Mom, you were saying it was based on your suggestion, but I think what's going on is Diana is saying it backwards from what you were recommending. Mom was recommending that we use the squads to filter who will be the best volunteers. So they would start at a squad first as far as their central contact roadmap or their
I
journey.
see what's going on.
And then
All right.
Diana is saying they start as a volunteer first and go through the squad. But I think
Okay.
she might have heard your suggestion a little differently.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the same way.
I see.
Yeah.
But as I think about it, honestly, I think most people will volunteer from the squads, not as much from the other way around. I think most people who volunteer will start in a squad first.
Oh, yeah.
And based on the squad leaders, be like, hey, you should, they will be some of the best recruiters, be like, hey, you should consider volunteering. And so they'll already be in a squad, and they'll be adding new ways, or starting with
And
a
they'll be
squad.
exposed to a lot of our stuff.
Yeah, they'll
already.
be exposed already.
Yeah, and
They'll
they'll
So
see
they have
how
hotter contact.
Yes,
Hotter contacts.
they're hot
Yeah.
contacts.
Yep. That's
Hot
good.
temperature.
We're creating hot contacts. That's great.
That is what it is. So the squads is basically like what Mom was saying. It's an incubator to warm them up, and once they're like, they go from cold to warm to hot, and then we're dealing with hot leads as volunteers rather than before. We were more cold. They didn't really understand what we were doing, what we were about. So I think that's part of our problem with the volunteers' engagement, because they're not as committed because they don't really know as much about the Army of Youth, and they're joining.
And
we don't have
by
anywhere to
joining the
put 'em.
squads, they might be more apt to joining the live cast.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because
And they're not
that's
sitting
what
there
it's
getting
about.
colder and colder and colder because we don't have nothing for them to do.
That's
They're
right.
already engaged as soon as they come on board.
That's
Boom.
right.
They're already.
Because our system currently for recruiting was mostly like me talking to people on Messenger or Instagram and just saying, hey, you seem like a good fit. Would you consider volunteering? They're like, okay. And now it's not going to be like that. Now majority
That's
of people
gonna
are not
change everything
seeing.
again.
So then what is the
Measurable key result.
that she's gonna be doing?
Well, if we look at the things that we wanted to accomplish, a measurable stuff would be making it a smoother process from the day that they volunteer, they apply, to when they actually can use their talents. One, that's a major measure, like outcome that we want. And then a second is to have a scalable system for collecting testimonials and life transformations. Those two are major.
So let's say 50% would be a measurable key result of anybody that comes on board will serve in the ministry.
With,
Not just
within a week?
Not within a week. That's we're talking about a yearly aim, right? The 50% of all volunteers will actually be serving in the ministry, not just volunteers.
By the end of the year?
Yeah.
What do you mean by? Because if they're volunteers, then they are serving.
Well, no,
Well,
because
not
a lot
necessarily.
of the people on this
They're
board
not
are not serving.
They're just.
But they said they were volunteering.
We want to make sure that they're serving. 50% of the people that have signed the volunteer page, that they're actually serving in the ministry or have
That
served.
they're active.
They're active. Yeah.
What if we put that they're contacted within a certain amount of time?
We do have that in 1 week. They have to be within 1 week. They have to be, their checklist has to be to them. That was a measurable key result. And they also have to have be scheduled onto a squad. And they also have to be implemented some piece of it. We don't know how much yet of the compass.
But what about if we contact them within a week and have it established where they're going to be working as
Their automatic work, no matter what, is going to be with the squad. And then while they're in the squad, we can actually start talking to them, because at least they're not
I
sitting there
see
getting
what you're
colder and colder and colder until we can actually get them plugged in.
That is so nice.
So we can actually have them working us, and they're warm, and they're learning, and they're actually being exposed to what we
Engaging
do.
with
They're
people.
engaging.
I see what you're saying. So they're engaging in the squads immediately, and their squad leader, we have a system that's duplicatable enough to engage them within a week. So that wouldn't be the best measurable because it's already there. Wow, this conversation has been so enlightening and clarifying for the year, to see how we're moving forward in the visioneering for what we're doing. It's amazing.
Yeah. I guess one of the things that went really well this year is, kind of getting down packed the system for the quarterly, the monthly,
Yeah.
the weekly, daily review, just every just
Writing down the
reviewing and
steps.
writing
Yeah.
down the steps and seeing our vision and working towards it.
That's so true.
That's the key.
And having scheduled regular times where we analyze our goals and where are we and where we want to be, and are we making the progress we want to see, what's not working. I think that's been one of the most life transforming habits I've ever had, because so many people set goals, but visibility is one of the greatest problems why we don't reach our goals, because we don't see our goals. And now we have a system, weekly, quarterly, monthly, and yearly, to really revise, to analyze and revise and remobilize. And I never had that for my life, so it's hard to set goals when you're not
And most
checking
people don't
them.
know how to. I
No.
mean, only I think a percentage, and I think it's a very low percentage, that's your CEOs that accomplish that goal.
Yeah, it's true.
That's not a common goal for the average person or
Only
for
3%
the
of
higher.
3% of people have written goals.
Right, and that's a really low, and those are usually your CEOs or corporate people that are not your standard person or
And-
person serving.
Yes.
It's really,
The rest of the 97% work for them.
there you go. There you go. Okay. Okay, so let's look at these one more time, and let's finish these up.
Finalize. Cool.
Finalize.
We're gonna remobilize here. We're gonna get all this going. Wow, so we got five of them.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, I'm so glad different people are responsible for these things and they're not all on my plate.
Yeah. Okay, let's read through them real first. We have the first one. I think that's our first one. It looks like it's Comron, right?
Yeah.
So Comron, your measurable, who does what, by when, and we know that when is by the end of the year, but, and measurable key result would be, what would it look like to you, Comron? What do you think that needs to be accomplished by the end of the year? What do you think what does it look like to you that it should look like by the end of the year?
You sit up there, implement all 3 of the books.
Okay, thank you, brother. We're just clarifying it.
Oh, okay.
We're just finishing up. Thank you. Okay.
So yeah, traffic secrets, secret.com secrets. Want to have them all sketched out and roles identified and people, working, people doing the stuff.
Some delegating. Nice job. That delegation thing was the one you wanted to work on. So that's great. Can we put delegate there? We know he's going to be doing it, but still, it's good to see
What do you
it.
mean by delegate?
That's one of the skills he's wanting to master is delegation, is communication delegation. That's a really high skill that he's doing. That's why he's taking on this task, is so he can master that skill. So he's doing 2 things at once. Congratulations, Kamran. That's really awesome. Tina's going to be doing the same thing, actually.
No, it's not duplicate.
Okay. So Tina will optimize the marketing funnel. And then we have the list from 1 through 8 there.
1 through 7.
7. Okay.
Oh, I guess there's 1 through 6.
Through 6. Okay. Okay. Are we good with the number 2? Should we move on to 3?
Sounds like someone's upstairs.
Okay. Number 3, Enoch
Yeah,
will lead the
Theodore.
squads. And what does this
Yes.
look like? What do you want it to look like at the end of the year, Enoch? Just those things? Cascading communications, squad ministry, partner with Team 100.
What do I want it to look like?
Yeah, your measurable key result for the end of the year.
I think we should measure by how many people are there,
By how many people? Okay.
because that's something that's easier to measure.
Okay. Tina, can you put that there?
How many
By how
people
many?
do you think would be good to do by the end of the year?
Woohoo! Yay!
I
I want to see
Stretch it.
6,000.
was gonna say 1,000. 6,000?
Unix going big!
My
It is.
my dream has been 6,000. I
Well,
like
then
that.
let's put
'Cause,
6,000. Let's do it.
I mean,
But you know, I will tell you, if you
A
put
legion.
6,000, you're gonna find that what you say yes to, you'll have to say no to. So you got to think of how many people can per month, then you can move them into the leadership position, and how long does it take for them to master those skills? Is it a month to 2 months? How long? Because then you can measure it by that. That's your measurable key
so
result.
true. So true.
To reach that 6,000.
You're right.
60,000.
So if you could do that math, that would be how you would know how many you could get.
Just put some zeros behind it.
Tina, we need your help with taking notes. I know you're excited right now. We need your scribe abilities.
Okay.
She just said some key things that would be good to write down. But okay, you
So
heard
how
it.
you would measure, how Enoch would need to measure it, and it would be to estimate how long it takes for a person to go through the checklist of becoming a squad leader,
Go ahead.
which is usually about
I'm sorry, I
month to 2
like it
months,
some.
right? A month to 2 months, right? How long is it usually the average right now when it's running?
The average, maybe about a month.
A month?
Month
Okay.
and a half if people are slow.
Okay, so a month and a half. So
But we didn't have a written checklist, so that could speed things up considerably.
it can,
So you're talking about how long it takes to develop
develop.
But it has been a month and a half.
to develop a squad.
leader.
And those were also people that were closest to me, so I was like heavily involved. But then the further people get from me, we have to duplicate systems because there's only so much I
Right.
can grow.
So we have the new system that we're going to be trying out.
And they just got it yesterday.
So, so then from there, you'll have to be able to multiply out how many so that you want to get. And then you have to take away a percentage of that. You need to take
So if
away
we got 9
40%.
squads, that's like 90 people. A
Uh-huh.
little less than 90. It's 45 to 90 people right now. So can we do that times 10?
You should multiply it by 10.
We did that, and we've been here since June. So that was we did 45 to 90 people in 6 months,
But now that you have more of a framework, so we can say
and it grows exponentially.
yes. So if we multiply that, I think that would be a good goal to start with. And if we go past it, great.
1,000?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do 1,000. I'm alright with that.
And then
That might be a 3-year goal or 2-year goal. 6,000.
No, it should be 1,000 the first year. The next year you should be able to do 10,000. The next year.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So yeah,
sounds manageable to me.
it is.
Oh, by having, yeah.
having 1,000
So
people
you're gonna
join the
have to write
squads.
reports for sure. Okay, nice.
I'm not gonna write because otherwise it's gonna mess you up.
Isn't this exciting, guys? Rebecca, are you still with us? Oh, she's gone.
She doesn't
Okay.
take off.
It's okay. We've kept her long enough. That's hard.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
She's a real trooper.
Multiple
okay.
things at once.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, and then
By
we have-
the end of by December.
Didn't I write that?
No,
I did. You erased it. Right there.
I
Probably
did
didn't
not
update.
erase it.
It's okay.
Update.
No worries.
Okay. Okay, I think we've hit them all. And Diana's, we did mine before everybody else's, so that was good. So we're at, all 5 are done, guys. Praise the Lord. Okay. Do we see anything that would prevent us from achieving these annual aims?
Yeah, we're gonna surpass them.
And the only thing we could have is like government regulations of any kind. Let's pray that we don't have any regulations.
Yeah, the times that we're living in.
Yeah. So, I don't see anything else. And I don't think we really have, we're going to be doing number 5, create a checklist of post-meeting actionable steps.
We already did that.
We already did that?
Well, not even, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we have
New
to
annual aims.
do anything for that.
Okay, so any other undiscussed business that you would want to address as a team? Everybody's good? Okay, we're going to go ahead and end in prayer and thank the Lord for his outcome and for his mercy. This was awesome. Do we have anybody specific would like to pray? Deborah?
Yeah, I'll pray.
Thank you, sister.
Dear Lord, thank you for the time that we've got to spend together and to zero in on what can be done. And I pray that you bless our efforts and help us to be faithful with our work. And please, Lord, you say we need to pray for workers, and we're praying right now for the best workers out there to come work with us so that we could grow and reach the people. And dear Lord, prepare the hearts and the minds right now to receive the products and the opportunities that we have throughout the year. And please be with our hearts and our minds and help us to do the things that are important and to hear your voice and be able to be guided by you. Please forgive us where we fall short and help us to keep going forward and to work well together. We love you, Lord. Thank you for caring for us and working with us and being so patient with us. And thank you for the opportunities that you give us and the times that we get to live in right now. We love you so much. Please be with us always. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sister Deborah. That's such a blessing when we pray. You guys, thank you for having me, and I really enjoy our team here. I really feel blessed that we're all.
We're glad you're
Yeah.
It is so nice.
Really is.
Isn't it wonderful?
We're glad you're here.